valmistautukaa kauden kovimpiin koitoksiin. Sour Cream Snacks ja Flaming Hot Snacks. Kotikatsomoissa mukana Wilhelm Snacksit.
Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. We are back again with more ECL Elite Division action right here on NHL Gamer. My name is Tuki, joined as always by my broadcast partner in one, Sin, for the win. Sin, some interesting matchups today. Some teams on the outside looking in on the playoff structure, trying to work their way back into the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. KOVA, a positive record, 7-5-2. They're not quite out of it. They're one of those teams that we mentioned on Monday's broadcast who is just really in the mix, fighting for it. It's all about positioning. 1 point can make all the difference. SAWO, on the other hand, the rough start. We saw them early on. They're really slow to get out of the gates. They still have a fighting chance, but they pretty much need to get, 4 or 3 points in a lot of their matchups in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. I mean, that's kind of the story for a lot of the teams on the outside looking in. We're in the back stretch of the season now. You can't afford to let these point opportunities go to waste. A quick look, though, at today's schedule around the league, as again, right here on this broadcast, we'll be covering the two games between KOVA Esports and SAWO Esports. And on the flip side, it will be Team Leisure and Roots Gaming a little bit later on in this broadcast. So buckle up here. A solid day worth of action here again in the Elite Division, again, of the ECL. NHLGamer.com, of course, for all the information that you need. Wilhelm, our lovely sponsor, help making this happen. Send that $15K prize pool awaiting the winner. Again, the ECL, bigger, better than ever, over 260 teams. The representation that we have, the Elite Division's lived up to the hype. I can't wait to see how today's action happens to go. So a quick look as well at the standings up to this point in the season, again, as we get ready to set the stage for the first of two games between, again, not Team Leisure, but that'd be KOVA Esports and SAWO. And Sin, you see here at the top, of course, the left-hand side is where you want to be on the bracket, but at the top, no real surprise. It's Philadelphia and HAVU. But again, as we talked about it on Monday, and as well, you still see here the close, I guess, kind of differential in the standings, for lack of a better term. The differential's not there. 20 points for Färjestad in fourth, just 3 points back are Northern Ascendancy on the outside looking in. I guess the point was for me, and the reason why I got tongue-tied is because we're so used to seeing a gap, but a gap just hasn't formed up to this point in the season.
Yeah, surprisingly, the gap looked like it was going to be the 1 and 2 again, but Vesapampa just won't go away. We can see them right there. Now, HAVU does have 2 games in hand. They can maybe put a bit of a gap between them and Vesapampa, so it might still be a big 2, but the thing we've got here is a big middle. And as you mentioned it, I mean, just 3 points separating the 4th place team and the 9th, but if you go by margin of victory, if you go to 6 to 8 points. I mean, it goes all the way down to YMCA and Team Leisure, even down more to even Conquer, not quite even out of it. So it's kind of crazy how volatile these standings already are, and I think it's just going to pick up in intensity as the second half of the season finishes up.
So with that, let's get a look here at the matchup. Again, KOVA Esports and SAWO Esports going head-to-head. The thing that stands out here, Sin, I mean, obviously the special teams, certainly one of them. The defensive struggles of SAWO as well have really been, a big factor to their season thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, when you have that minus goal differential, it can really add up, especially when the gap is that wide, and a lack of special teams as well. It's like SAWO, they're looking for one thing to kind of be in their favor, but so far, not one thing has really jumped out and been able to help them salvage the season to this point.
So let's get a look at the lineups today. The 5 skaters and goaltenders, of course, on each side. For SAWO, we see Okonku Chrysoustis, which is a name that's going to take us a little bit to get used to, Sim. But of course, we're going to talk about him quite a bit here. A new addition to this team just before the holiday break. Of course, you have Nats as well. On defense, it's the captain, tackle control, and Mr. Nipsley. And between the pipes here, I do believe we see Uwiski, although there might have been a late change. We will try to clarify that. I do believe it is going to be Uwiski between the pipes here. Although I will say he has split time with the other option there on SAWO this season. So I'll be intrigued, of course, to see how that one plays out. Of course, on the flip side for KOVA Esports, we have the captain in Zip player, Honelli, and Veluxit up top as well. On defense, Fakiri and Sakam, and then it is Monkeyhead between the pipes there for KOVA. We do have words in a late change here for us. Uwiski will not be between the pipes here for SAWO. So it will be, and I apologize for the name, we'll try to make sure we get this right, but Mehukati will be between the pipes here for SAWO. So another big talking point that we'll have as we get into these individual matchups.
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry about that, missing the kicker there as I'm trying to look to get things fixed here on our sheets for our information. But yeah, you said it. I mean, it's late changes are always interesting. We'll see how that affects SAWO here. He is the one with the more game experience. However, the record definitely not in his favor. So KOVA Esports with a chance here to really, thrust themselves back into the playoff picture, into the playoff hunt, especially against, I mean, this is their time to do it. And for SAWO, I'm not going to say it's your last gasp, but it pretty much is. If you don't have a good showing here, you are out of the picture, perhaps.
So with that, let's move over to the individual matchups here. Of course, we start off with the battle of the centers, as we always do. For SAWO, of course, it is Christousas. I'm going to just botch that name left and right. I apologize to him, but again, a notable player for sure. And again, we'll talk about Hanelli on the flip side here, Sin. And, I think an underrated story is Hanelli's ability at center this season. Very quietly, 26 points in 14 games.
Yeah, tied for 20th in assists, and that's in the entire league. He does take a few penalties. He's tied for 4th in penalty minutes. Face-off percentage is miles above right now what it is for Christousas, but we'll see how that matchup goes. Again, it always comes down to, those key face-offs when the game starts, percentages kind of go out the window.
Indeed. We'll take a look here at the battle of the wingers as well. Again, for SAWO, we see Okonku and Nayasen. For KOVA Esports, it is once more the captain of the team in Zip player alongside Veluxit, and send a dynamic duo there on the wings for KOVA.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Veluxit 2 points per game. Not only that, his 16 goals are good enough to be tied for a third. I mean, you expect with a goal scorer like this for your team to be in the playoff hunt. So I'm expecting to see a big performance out of not only him, but the captain Zip player as well. And, if they can, when you have a goal scorer like this, you really want to be able to find yourself in the playoff hunt. So this is a big opportunity for them here today.
Moving over to the defenseman here, as again for SAWO, we have one tackle control, the captain of the squad, alongside Mr. Nipsely. On the flip side, it is Fakiri and Sakam Sin. Some impressive point totals, all things considered, for the SAWO defense, although tackle control spent the first half of the season playing at forward.
Yeah, so it's hard to take, maybe his numbers as they are. As you did mention, he did play, a lot of forward. But Mr. Nipsely, those aren't bad point totals at all. From a team who's struggling to score in a lot of ways and really struggling to keep the puck in the net, it is good to have contributions from the defensive side of things. That being said, his 10 penalty minutes also lead the team. So when you're, as a defenseman, if you get into the box, you often thrust a forward into a spot where they have to defend, where in situations perhaps that they're not necessarily used to. And against KOVA Esports, which you'll see, they have an outstanding power play. You cannot afford to go to the box, especially as a defenseman.
From there, we move over, of course, to the battle of the goaltenders. Again, we have it confirmed for SAWO. It is going to be Mehukati. On the flip side for KOVA, we see Monkeyhead. And, of course, Monkeyhead last year, a big surprise in terms of how effective he was between the pipes. The numbers, not quite to the level he would want them to be at this season. And, of course, again, the story for SAWO here, 2 goaltenders that have played a decent amount this season. We thought it would be Uwiski between the pipes today with a slightly better save percentage than Mehukati, but he will indeed get the start, looking for his second win of the season. Sin, we are just about ready for the start of the game, so we're going to go ahead and jump in to the 3 keys to success. I'll kick things off here talking about KOVA and what they have to do here to get the win. And the first key here, simply put, crush them. Dave Mustaine might hate the song, but apparently they're a big fan. KOVA loves to hit 331, by far the most in the league, 35 more than the team in second, and 115 more registered hits than the team in third. Look out for their physicality. And then we have practice nearly makes perfect. A lot of penalty minutes, though, as a result of that physicality. 52 are the second most penalty minutes taken in the league this season, but practice pays off because they also have the second most efficient penalty kill. Ideally, though, for them, fewer penalty minutes equals more time on the attack. And then we have a little bit of a clutch factor with these forwards. All three have at least 2 game-winning goals, and even distribution in clutch time, but they've also been known for playing in quite a few close games. A 4-5 record in 1-goal games. They've been to overtime 3 times. So we'll see what happens here. Certainly an interesting team to watch game in and game out for KOVA. Sin, what do we have for SAWO here? The 3 keys to success for them.
Well, the first one here is that they need to keep improving. As we know, Supervirta departed from this team last month, and tackle control dropped back on defense, as you alluded to. And that brought in Chrysotus to join the team. And the new center has done a good job. He's dishing around the puck. He's got, 8 assists in 6 games played. But where he's weak right now is his faceoffs, 41.7%. That is... that could be honestly considered extremely low, even for EASHL. The key faceoffs are good, but he's going to want to get that, percentage up there in general. Possession is important. The next one here is standing tall, which I guess we're going to negate a bit because Uwiski not actually starting this game here. So I'll make one up on the fly. Mehukati, this is a chance to bounce back. He hasn't had the greatest start. 1-5-2, 70 save percentage. So if he has a good showing in this game, he doesn't have to shut it down. All he needs to do is keep his team in a position to win. The last key here is, I'm in danger. Their 111 hits here are the second fewest in the league. Usually teams at the bottom of the standings are lacking puck possession. That plays a big part in EASHL. So, don't necessarily need to go bash brothers, but if they don't have the puck, laying that physical game, throwing KOVA's game back in their face could be what they need to do to stay on their toes, get their thumbs going, and get some possession of their own.
One of the most physical teams in the league, the most physical team in the league in KOVA Esports, going up against SAWO, one of the least physical teams. It's going to be a recipe for a fun series of games to watch. I can't help but think, Sin. The teams are searching, just about matched up. Again, we are just about ready to go for the first game of 2 between these two teams. Let's get a look there at the lobby. And Sin, of course, I know you're looking forward as well, what the player types are going to be. It's been
Dangler.
a big talking point this season, how the puck-moving defenseman has kind of been the go-to build for a lot of players in this league, but we're seeing a little bit more variety here.
Yeah, KOVA Esports especially having a dangler option on the wing and actually a grinder on defense. I mean, that kind of speaks to their idea of wanting to be physical. I believe that's Fakiri there on that grinder build, and left winger Zip player. Who's bringing out the dangler. I didn't quite catch the height and weight, plus the conversions from Imperial to metric. We're a little slow on here as Americans, so I'll see when he's on the ice about eyeball the size, about what I think he is, and see if he's going for that speed or if he's still going, maybe a bit bigger for that puck possession, as can be, so important. But maybe against SAWO, who's not too physical, a faster build with less puck protection, as you're not expecting the hits to come, might be the way to go.
The metric system, a big struggle for us. But as we say here in America, the metric system, who uses the metric system? Everybody else on the planet. Talking about these two teams there you see SAWO in the yellow and black, and of course KOVA in the black and red. Big talking point here, SAWO in their last 4 games split a series against Team Leisure, were swept by Firestad, so just 1 win in their last 4. But a thing to note with SAWO, they started off the season 0-7. They are 3-1 since, including a big upset win over Havu earlier on here. So despite some lineup changes, as Sin alluded towards, you look at someone like Krasustist here, and the addition that he's been following the departure of Supervirta, it's been a team on the rise. We're going to see if they can continue to crawl out of the basement. But KOVA in on the attack here. Opportunity at the point. The shop locked down in front. And we'll see SAWO bring it down the other way. To note as well here for KOVA, talking about their run of form. Sin, the same thing, just one win in their last 4 games, but they also picked up a win against one of the top teams. They split a series against H-Reds, but were swept by Vesapampa, the surprise of the season, I would have to say, in terms of how they stepped up. KOVA a little bit more streaky. They win 3, they lose 3. So both of these teams on the rise, still have playoff aspirations. See how this one goes here. 4 minutes into the first period, and here comes KOVA. Manelli drops it back to the point, gets it back down low again, tried to throw it in front, a pass rifled through. KOVA still in possession here. D-to-D, one-timer, and a big stop there. Hook and call coming up here against KOVA, so an opportunity going to be coming up here for SAWO on the power play early on. D-to-D pass there of their own, trying to pinch in here is Mr. Nipsley. He takes a hit. There will be no follow-up penalty. So SAWO goes to the man advantage. The worst power play, at least tied for the worst power play in the league, just 1 of 10 on the season. We'll see them go to work here, though. Opportunity, rifle pass across, and Nkunku just misses it on the backhand attempt. The opportunity now coming down, pitching it, throws a rocket pass on net. It'll be covered by Monkeyhead. Then, I mean, for SAWO there, what really kind of turned it around was the, I would say, you know, obviously the hooking call there, but it was KOVA working that D-to-D one-timer as well. Like to see that. You don't really like to see the follow-up penalty.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate one, especially so far away from your own end. That's one that you don't want to take. But I have liked SAWO Esports. Their power play so far, they're not hesitating too much to get the puck to the net. Unfortunate pass right there, a little bit too charged up, and Chrysotis couldn't get the possession. So an icing call right there at 51 left won't do a whole lot to help their chances of getting out of the basement on the power play. But maybe KOVA can get a shorthanded opportunity here.
The commentator's curse strikes again. We talk about it with KOVA, though, the second best penalty kill in the league, so it was always going to be an uphill battle for SAWO. That pass nearly found its way through to Nkunku, just off the mark. So the puck is sent all the way down. That'll pretty much do it for the SAWO man advantage. But, Sin, I like what you mentioned there, alluding towards some of the positives that we saw out of a struggling power play. An offside call here with 11:14 to go. Again, we thank you very much for joining us here in this broadcast. The first game of 4 that we'll be covering here, so don't go anywhere. Again, it's ECL action here on twitch.tv/NHL Gamer, and the opportunity once more now for SAWO in the offensive zone. We see consistently Mr. Nipsley willing to pinch in. Now on that attempt there, it was Chrysotis as well. Again, one of the new additions to this team, a mid-season acquisition, but what an acquisition he has been. SAWO back in on the rush, couple of big hits there, but KOVA can't get possession back. They do after a strong poke check. Going to bring it back down the other way. Stockton will send it around. Picked off there again, though, by Nipsley. Been mentioning his name a lot already. Promising stuff for him as someone who has really started to, you know, pick up the point pace a little bit there. 11 points in 14 games as a defenseman so far this year. An opportunity there goes to the wayside, and KOVA looking to get something going down the other end. Biloxit throws one in front. Nelly just not able to get a piece of it. See KOVA again try to go to work here. Good movement. Nipsley there in on the defense, though. Player of the first period so far, if you can dare call that out. Here comes SAWO down the other side, and a big save. Second chance doesn't find its way to the back of the net. Couple of big saves there by Monkeyhead for KOVA Esports. Slap shot on and a big kick save. 9 tackle control of the goal. Still in on the attack. Puck on net. And Monkeyhead doing a great job of keeping his team, really in this deadlock situation. And SAWO looking good.
Yeah, a lot of pressure coming out from them. Very hungry on the loose pucks, and what I really liked was a lot of good support from their forwards. And what I mean by that is not just getting to the loose pucks, but when they have the puck, they're making sure someone is nearby, and that's not just for a quick pass. That's in case you get bumped and the puck will kind of go loose. You see it more on the breakout, and Chrysotis is doing a great job of that so far.
Opportunity here for KOVA as we approach the final 2.5 minutes. This one offside on the play. So again, you look at this matchup heading into today. KOVA in the standings, SAWO in 15th, second last in the league table, but they don't look it with the performance we've seen so far. Opportunity and a goal! It happens that quickly. What a pass! KOVA Esports strike first, and the commentator's jinx lives on.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. SAWO seemingly had all the momentum here, but this is just how quickly things can turn in NHL 21. KOVA with a quick strike of their own. The cross crease pass finished off. I believe that's Honelli right there. And I mean, if you're SAWO, that one's got to hurt. It wasn't too bad of coverage right there. One man on the puck carrier, the other one trying to get towards, the pass recipient, but an unfortunate break for them. It goes right through. Good attempt by Mahukati to get over there, but also a very well-placed shot. 1-0 for KOVA.
As mentioned with Honelli here early on this season, I mean, tied for 5th in terms of assists, but able to find the back of the net, his 7th. And a good start there for KOVA. I mean, a little bit slow out of the gates, especially that penalty, taking away some of the momentum. But you get that first goal and those early struggles for the first 15 minutes or so of this game quickly go away. See how the final minute here plays out. SAWO in possession, tackle control. We can put up points. A utility player, or perhaps not a utility player, but a versatile player, can play all positions. Of course, normally the center for this team. Okonkwo tries to drop one back, unable to do so. Alexis there, able to pick that one off. Forward play along the half wall, kicked back out into the neutral zone. One final chance here for SAWO. Tackle control, the sauce in front. Doesn't find its intended target, and that will bring us to the end of the first period. A good start for SAWO, but it goes to waste as KOVA Esports find the back of the net, get that opening goal.
Yeah, and it's pretty unfortunate for SAWO, but that's kind of been the story of their season. They're able to have those good performances, like you mentioned, beating Havu. They started out the period so well, but then they don't convert, and they go down from seemingly, just 1-2 chances back the other way. And that comes down to just, you have to have resiliency here. They have to kind of put that behind them. We saw them at the end there getting a bit desperate. I'm not saying desperation's a bad thing, but you also, at this point, with just the 1-goal deficit, don't necessarily want to start sacrificing too much defense for offense. You're still very much in it. You can see all the the shot numbers, the time on attack in their favor. Face-offs, really good. So hats off to a Christotus right there, who's at least keeping pace, at least not putting himself in too big of a hole here. But for SAWO, adjustments, hard to say. I mean, all you really need to do is convert. I would like to see a bit more, of a 5-man commitment on defense. I think for the time there was a lot of back and forth action, and pretty easy break-ins at times for either side. So if they could shore up their blue line, they could get their own transition game going a bit quicker and, kind of snowball some of the momentum.
Just didn't mention there the face-offs, one of our big talking points. Christotus just 41% on the draw through his first 6 games in the season, but again, as Sin mentioned, looking pretty good so far. Here's KOVA in on the attack early on, around the back, tried to throw one on. Still in possession here, at least for the moment. The pinch ineffective there for Sockham, but he's able to pick it back up in the neutral zone after a bit of contact, turns it right back over. Let's see what SAWO can do here on this opportunity. A lot of trouble trying to work the puck through the middle of the ice, being held to the outside. Looks a lot like the World Junior Final from last night. It's an errant pass there. Nowhere to go. Beluxit burst to speed. Drops back to the defense. Sockham goes back to the winger. Tried to throw it again in front. And we're seeing a couple of forces here to start this second period. As we've talked about a lot this season, it's a good go-to strategy, but both teams on point right now in terms of defense.
Yeah, the collapse from SAWO was strong there. I'm not too sure if Veluxit was ready for the initial pass. It was a really good pass. He did have a shooting lane. You never know what those odd angle one-times, if they go in. He opts for that other pass to the middle, and I'm not too sure if that was the right decision right there. As you saw, it did lead to a turnover, and now KOVA looking to get back into the zone.
Onelli here on the puck, the goal scorer for KOVA, maintains possession, only to throw it away. And again, another chance here on the rush for SAWO, but the pass is just not there. Fakiri and Sockham for KOVA doing a great job of shutting things down. Opportunity here. The pass across doesn't go. Have a zip player again trying to find the feed. Opportunity, though, for SAWO on the rush. Big sauce pass. A little bit off the mark there, but they're still in possession. Errant pass is recovered. Opportunity again here if they can find the shooting lane, perhaps that passing lane that they are looking for, even more so. Trouble there for Mr. Nipsley. Nowhere to go. See what KOVA's able to do in response. Sockham not able to pull off the deep, unable to recover the puck as well. And it's SAWO back in possession now. 8.5 minutes gone here in this second period. The first of 2 games between these two teams. And right now, Sin, a lot of, as you mentioned, back and forth action, broken plays left and right. Well, perhaps here, this will be the moment where they happen to put it together. The commentator's curse, as we've mentioned. There you go, SAWO not able to hold it into the zone. Sim, what are you thinking here as we've hit the halfway point of the second?
Well, I do like SAWO better at their blue line here, forcing the turnovers, and they're taking a bit more time with their break-ins as well. And as you can see right there, they get one in with a
big pass and the opportunity in front for Okonkwo. We just couldn't hit on the far side. Second chance, and they score. That's able to find the back of the net. Then you praised them a little bit, doing a little bit of a better job. And offensively, they finally found that little bit of space in the slot.
Yep, and that all came from a good forced turnover in the neutral zone, and then the break-in. It was all about timing right there from SAWO. The defensemen were crossing, made a couple quick passes, then hit the guy streaking up the middle, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was Nas initially trying to get on the break-in, then Okonkwo picked up the puck, and he went towards the net and gets rewarded with a goal, 1-1.
Chance down the other way, and it's in the back of the net. I think it's going to be an own goal here, but blink and you miss it. KOVA Esports back on top. I don't think it's being reviewed here, Sin. What an unfortunate break against SAWO.
Yeah, I mean, right after you tie the game up and the play goes the other way, they didn't necessarily get caught napping or anything like that, but KOVA they really have good response here after the pressure early, and now after that, they kind of throw it towards the net. It goes off what looked like a leg and into the net, taking that lead back.
The big goal there. It is Zip player who gets credited with it, his 10th goal of the season. Second player here of that front three to hit double digits on the year. And it's KOVA back up on top by 1. We'll see what SAWO can do after a very unfortunate goal against. And 6 minutes remaining here in the second period. These two teams on the outside looking in of the playoff structure here, trying to battle their way back. Big step up hit there, though. Follow-up poke check, gets possession back for KOVA. Again, a huge game here at this stage, back half of the season. One-timer, looked like it was nearly deflected. A big save there by Mehukati. SAWO back in possession. Again, a big step-up hit. Fakiri doing a great job there. First in hits amongst defensemen, the left D for KOVA. Don't be surprised to continue to see him step up. Again, we talked about physicality all around of this KOVA Esports lineup, the most physical team in the Elite Division this season. 2 minutes to play now. SAWO on the rush, just nowhere to go. KOVA really tightening up defensively here, then following that goal against.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, SAWO really having fits trying to set it up in the zone, and it seems like KOVA now, a bit easier going through the neutral zone.
Offside call here, 57 seconds to go in the second period. Again, the first game of 2 between these two teams, and a little bit later on in this broadcast, it is Team Leisure and Roots Gaming going head-to-head for 2 other games. The opportunity here for SAWO. Will there be a late goal opportunity? And a gigantic save there. Monkeyhead with a fantastic glove save to keep this a 2-1 lead for KOVA.
I mean, that is just being so cool and calm in the crease.
Chance again for SAWO, the one-time bomb from tackle control. Monkeyhead, we talked about it in the pregame, not quite putting up the numbers that he did last year, but certainly a capable goaltender. We're seeing it right here and right now. Under 5 seconds to go. Big face-off here. This one won by KOVA. They maintain possession, and that will bring us to the end of the second period. Remember those saves by Monkeyhead to end this one.
Yeah, and it was almost identical to the previous period where it was a late push by SAWO really going for a goal, and they get a couple, A opportunities there. I really like that first one. It was a good entry, number 1, by SAWO Esports, but what they did afterwards was incredible. 2 guys driving the net, puck carrier drops it back to the late man, and it seemed in that situation, oftentimes you will catch a goalie, sliding to one or either side. Monkeyhead just kind of stayed right where he needed to be. Excellent patience by him, and the shooter really had nowhere to go. He was outweighted by Monkeyhead. So again, SAWO not looking bad, really pushing for it, but it's those quick strikes from KOVA right now that are making the difference. And 2 goals off 4 shots, it doesn't bode well for Mehukati's numbers, but he is doing his best to keep his team in a position to win. It's only a 1-goal deficit, and again, you like what SAWO's doing is we're getting another look. It looks like it's a puck pickup that kind of puts it 5-hole. Yes, indeed. Tackle control's got to be feeling pretty rough about that one.
That is a horrible break for them. A thing to keep in mind with KOVA as well, 12th in shots out of the 16 teams. So a team that really tries to prioritize their shooting opportunities and to make the most of high-quality chances. And sometimes a lucky break like that helps a lot. Tried to throw it back across there. Just didn't go through. We'll see what SAWO can do. Again, elite division action here in the ECL, presented to you by Wilhelm. You'll hear more about their flaming hot snacks a little bit later on here. KOVA in the offensive zone. Pass across, backhand, fired wide there. Good opportunity for Zip player. You see that forechecking aggressiveness on display. Willing to back up a little bit there. And Fakiri very quietly, perhaps not so quietly at times, the physicality has done a fantastic job here. A lot of times, of course, you want to look at the forwards that put up points, but he has been controlling the neutral zone throughout this game so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And he feels the freedom to step up because he knows one of his forwards is going to be racing back to cover him. It's a good strategy.
So Luxit recovered that one, tried to rifle the pass into the front. Doesn't quite find the space there. Another turnover. Fakiri, big stretch pass to Honelli. Has it here, tries to sauce it, and a puck kicked back out to the half wall. SAWO not exactly getting the start to this third period they would have hoped for. In possession here, though. Able to time it at the line. Picked up. Monkeyhead able to play it out to his defenseman. And a quick break down the other way. Broken up, and another offside call. 12:43 to play here in the third period.
Good attempt from KOVA right there, dropping it back, and then Zip player trying to get that, big speed burst from that very, very small build. Unfortunately, didn't quite work out, but it was a good look. Veluxit trying to pass that puck back just went off the SAWO defender.
Another turnover there in the neutral zone from the SAWO defense. KOVA in on the attack opportunity. Loose puck was recovered, but Veluxit not able to find the back of the net. Mehukati with a big stop there. Help out that save percentage a little bit here after Sin. You mentioned, of course, just not the best luck so far for him in this game, maybe in this season, but still a winnable game here for SAWO. They're in on the attack now. Okonkwo looking for a little bit of space, fending off a lot of pressure. Loose puck is recovered in front. KOVA trying to bring it down the other way. Another errant pass, though. A lot of adventurous breakout passes, I would call it, Sin, from both teams. Mixed success so far.
Yeah, they're really trying to, spread the game out, keep things going. You can tell both of them do like the rush plays. They seem to generate a lot of offense like that. We haven't seen a whole lot of cycling from either of these teams. They seem content with the neutral zone play in the rush game.
Halfway through the third period, a 2-1 lead for KOVA Esports over SAWO Esports at this moment. Anything can happen, though, of course, in the ECL. So still got a long way to go in this one. Socken to Fakiri somehow found its way through the traffic. And a big stop there by Mehukati. SAWO and get a bit of a controlled breakout here down the other way. Good quick passing. Konku has it down low in the corner around the back. Poked away there by Fakiri, but recovered still. Played on, shot deflects just wide. SAWO still in possession. Extra pass, doorstep, he scores! What pressure from SAWO Esports. It's Krasustas finding the back of the net there. The mid-season acquisition paying off again. Sin, we're tied at 2.
Yep, his 4th goal of the season right there. The recipient of a nice bounce, but really it was started by the excellent pressure by SAWO Esports. We were just talking about how back and forth it was. The rush game seeming to play heavy favor. The second that SAWO saw the opportunity to get the cycle game going, they all kept their feet moving, they kept the puck moving, and it results in the tying goal. 2-2.
I said a long way to go in this one, and commentator's curse proves to be right again. It's a shame, Sin, for teams that we get to commentate for that we actually have to commentate for them because, I don't know, we just seem to bring on the bad luck at every possible moment. But here's KOVA in on the attack. Loose puck is recovered, thrown back across. Fortunate bounce there off the tape of Veluxit. Big stretch pass again over to Okonkwo. Really trying to work it down that side of the ice now. He has space, throws one on, block down in front. Chance now for KOVA down the other way. A little bit of trouble, and again, another offside call. We've seen a few more of those for KOVA here in this third period.
Yeah, and SAWO, I mean, they've had their moments where they've really been holding the blue line well, and that's what's really feeding their transition. And then in turn, if they're able to get successful transitions, eventually they will get a good cycle going.
Fakiri bringing it down. Slap shot from an odd angle. There's a big rebound. None of his teammates able to get on top of that one. 3.5 to go now. Tie game. SAWO tried to dish it back to the point. Unfortunately, tackle control just not where he needed to be. And they'll rest up some stamina here. Look the lead down, the break out the other way. Not much pressure from KOVA. The step up there from Zip player off the mark. Fakiri, another big hit, but SAWO still in on the attack, at least for the moment. Fakiri, a wrecking ball. Along the left-hand side, and speaking of wrecking ball, what a hit there! Konku with a highlight reel demolition and a follow-up offside call, causing the injury there to Zip player.
Yeah, and not only that, but bounced on him afterwards, and another player from SAWO went surfing over him, just ran him over and kind of did an interesting dive right there. So you like to see the chirping come out from either team in such a close game.
Here comes KOVA, though. Zip player, injury and all, feeds it to Fakiri. Looking for a little bit of space, circling around, drops back to the point. One-timer perhaps. Sakam elects not to take it. Thrown back in front by Veluxit. Nobody home. 35 to go here. Both teams close. Picking up a very valuable point between the legs. Back again! What a play! What a goal! SAWO Esports grabs the lead. Nayats has another one. Unbelievable passing display there from a team towards the bottom of the table.
Wow. I mean, Nkunku, the between the legs pass, and then the vision from Chrysitus there, setting up Nayas with the gimme. And that all stemmed from a good defensive zone stand and another time where KOVA elects not to take that first shot, look for the better shot, turns into a turnover, turns into a transition, and SAWO Esports, make no mistake, taking the lead here late in the third.
Still a long way to go, though. 28 seconds remain. We've seen a quick response from KOVA already in this one. Huge hit there. SAWO holding it down below, forcing the forecheck. Can they withstand the pressure? They do, at least for the moment. Fakiri tries to win it back. SAWO doing a good job here, winding down the clock. Final 10 seconds. Time for one more rush here for KOVA. Turned over. SAWO in possession. Breakaway for Okonkwo. Tries to jump deep. Gloved down by Monkey Head. There will be a face-off with 0.1 remaining. Salt in the wound for KOVA Esports. It's a late winner, final minutes. SAWO Esports going to pick up 2 very crucial points. Their 4th win of the year. Mahukati finally gets his 2nd win of the year between the pipes. A gigantic 2 points for SAWO, and they deny KOVA the overtime point as well, Sim.
Absolutely, and I really liked what SAWO did throughout this game. They kept battling no matter what happened. If it was, a quick goal after they got one, or, that first goal after they had all the momentum, they didn't give up. They kept looking for their chances. They kept to their game. They kept playing it. They made the necessary adjustments for the most part to at least stifle what KOVA was trying to do, and in the end here, they get rewarded, and I really like that they were rewarded off the transition after forcing that turnover when KOVA was just trying to be a little too pretty. They really seem to not like to take that first shot, and when you can bank on that, when you can bank on them looking for that, the prettier opportunity, the secondary, third, the tertiary passes, looking for the perfect one-timer. I mean, we saw it right there. 2 passes and a goal on the transition. Ends up being the game winner. All comes from being able to force your opponent into a turnover when they're looking for one of those, big chances right there. It can be a good strategy for KOVA Esports, but in a tie game like that, when things are so close, sometimes taking that first shot, looking for the rebounds is all you need. I mean, think back to their second goal. They just kind of threw it to the net and got lucky off of a puck pickup.
I mean, you got to feel for Monkey Head there on the game-winning goal. We'll get another look at it here. Again, Okonkwo, the fantastic between-the-legs pass, a no-look back pass there, a fantastic goal. Again, feel for Monkey Head, though. It looked like he tracked it well. He made some big saves at the end of the second period, which just kind of goes to show that SAWO put on some really good opportunities here in this game. Not exactly what you would expect from a team that have struggled the way that they have, but again, a huge win. They started the season 0-7 and are now 4-3-1 ever since. SAWO right now picking up some valuable momentum. They get 2 gigantic points for the sake of their season. And again, we have another game coming up between these two teams in just a few minutes here. As again, you get a look there at what was the tying goal, or the lead reestablishing goal there. That was the 2-1 in favor of KOVA. So, Sin, a big moment there. We are going to take a very brief timeout to get you a word from our sponsor in Wilhelm Snacks, and we'll be back to talk about a whole hell of a lot following the aftermath of that game.
Wilhelmin ykköskentän pakkeina uudet tulokkaat. Sour Cream Snacks ja Flaming Hot Snacks. Kotikatsomoissa mukana Wilhelm Snacksit.
See, we told you, very quick, brief little break there. Again, we thank you to Wilhelm for sponsoring us here with their fantastic snacks. Was the way I was going to go. Sin and I, of course, still awaiting the day that we get to test them out. It will be sooner rather than later. Bless 2021. So, Sin, a fantastic first game there for SAWO, as we talked about. And, of course, we'll try to get you a look at the updated standings as we go along throughout this broadcast. But, again, now 4-3-1 record after that 0-7 start. And we talked about it. It wasn't perfect at times, but as the game went along, I mean, this is the second time we've been able to cover them here in sort of a primetime broadcast. And earlier this year, you could just tell something just wasn't right. You had the departure of Super Virta, just not really able to commit to the schedule fully the way he would want to. Steps aside, you look at the addition of Chrysitus into this lineup and what he's meant, picks up a couple of big points in that game. SAWO's looking pretty damn good for a team that looked to be down and out not all that long ago.
Yeah, and I mean, we were saying, if they lose both games today, you might just have to count them out early, but they get that first one, and now probably 4 points is completely not out of the question, almost looking kind of likely with the way they played that game against KOVA, who is in the positives with the record. They now fall to 7-6-2. But at the same time, I mean, they're above 500. And with what we saw at the playoff standings last year, even teams, on that mark, just above 500, below 500, even did make the playoffs. And when it came to Fariastad, made quite a big splash. But I mean, yeah, you said it. They look like a completely different team. I mean, sometimes it's just that one little change, the one little shakeup. They get the chemistry going, a bit more time to practice, as you mentioned, with the conflict of schedules from Virta. I can see this team making a pretty big push here, but also the old adage is true. A bad start can doom you early. So we'll see if they're able to recover.
And again, right now, you take a look at the standings. You have Roots Gaming, who we will see in action a little bit later on in this broadcast. So we do have an updated look here, but they are currently on 18 points there in 17th, tied with Gotham Knights. They have the tiebreaker, and you look now at SAWO up into 14th, just 7 points back. Now, teams do, of course, have that consistent schedule to play throughout. And, of course, you take a look at, the back half of the schedule and how it really plays out. It's going to take a little bit of help, but a huge win there for SAWO, as, we mentioned here, and they certainly keep their season alive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they lose that first game, they're still stuck there with 9 points. That's just not where you want to be. And again, you mentioned if they win the second one, they're that much closer. And on the flip side, when it comes to KOVA Esports, this was their opportunity to almost sort of solidify themselves and push themselves higher into that, the playoff bracket. And losing that first game really kind of damages them, as you can see them now in 11th, followed by YMCA Team Leisure, just 2 points behind. SJ Gaming, they're tied with Northern Ascendancy, 1 point ahead. It's just such a tight race. Every single one of these points matters so much.
Jensen, correct me if I'm wrong, but 30 games played per season for each team. Again, you look at SAWO, this is going to be game number 16 on the season. They could easily find themselves in that mix here in the last few weeks of the season. But talking now about what KOVA has to do, of course, we're getting into the matchup here. What are you going to look for here for KOVA? Is it just a matter of kind of abandoning that strategy of A-grade chances only and maybe just throwing a few more pucks on net? What do you think it's going to be for them?
they don't have to abandon it completely. There's times, and there's a time and a place where it really can work out, especially if you have a prolonged cycle in the zone and you get, the opponents really antsy and looking to get out of their zone ASAP. That's when they overextend defensively and make mistakes. But KOVA seemed to want to do that immediately as they entered the zone, and that's what led to the transition game back and forth. KOVA, they need to take some time to open up those kind of chances. So yeah, I would like to say them take the first shot a bit more often. That's not to say they can't just, completely abandon it, as we're going to see an early power play from SAWO Esports.
A very early power play here. Great chance there. Looked like it developed. And we'll see the boys go to work again. Just 1 for 11 now on the power play this season are SAWO. But a huge chance here to grab the lead early on. This one quickly poked away. We'll see if KOVA can fight off a bit of a rough start after dropping some crucial points in that last game. Again, of course, you've probably figured it out already. SAWO in the black and yellow, and of course, KOVA in the white and red. A minute remaining here. Halfway through this man advantage already. Big stretch pass. Finding a Kunku again. Opportunity. Tried to pull it. Perhaps 5-hole. Just not there. Monkeyhead able to shut things down. Sin there really finding success. Catching Stockholm off guard. And taking advantage of the speed that Akunku has down that left-hand side, of course, screen right. We're just about back to 5-on-5 here. One more chance. Of course, Stockholm not out there at that particular time. That certainly didn't help. The one-timer bombed just wide. Great chance there for SAWO Sim. We've talked about it as well in previous broadcasts. You don't really see those D2D one-timers as much as we used to in the competitive scene, especially here on the European side. But both teams showing that they're not really afraid to use it.
Yeah, definitely not, and it can create rebounds, and I do like to see it as both teams were trying to be a bit too precise. Those shots can really pay off, rebounds, etc., so forth, and especially for KOVA, that'll really play into the game of trying to spread out SAWO.
Has it again, tries to pick the far corner, loose puck still in the crease, second chance, fired on, stopped, and covered. Monkeyhead withstanding some decent pressure there from SAWO. A couple lucky bounces or not. Took advantage and got a couple of shots on goal there.
Exactly, and taking those shots, that's something that KOVA needs to see what just happened right there. It led to good chances for SAWO, and they were just kind of throwing that puck on the net, especially on the rebounds right there. And Monkeyhead, while he did have good positionings, could have just been caught out by the slightest of change of directions.
Yeah, opportunity here for SAWO, trying to work their way through the neutral zone. Fakiri again shutting things down. Sin, maybe not that difficult to understand why SAWO continues to work Stockham's side of the ice as opposed to Fakiri. He has been fantastic for KOVA. In possession of it now. Quick D2D pass. Back again. The one-timer off the shins of a Zip player. Loose puck bounces into the slot. SAWO able to pick that one up. We already approached the halfway point of this first period. Quite a pace we have set here. What a poke check there to move the puck forward. Naots drops back to the defense. Shot deflection. Bid doesn't go. Great job by tackle control to throw that one on. That one off the shins as well. Bronco nearly putting that one through on goal. Again, SAWO, very impressive for a team towards the bottom half of the standings. It just goes to show the competition level in the elite division. Of course, you always kind of get down on teams that are towards the bottom, but then you have to remember, well, they're in this division for a reason, and SAWO is certainly showing that today.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, they're very hungry in the offensive zone. When they take those shots, they're rushing to where that loose puck could be. Even if they get beat to it initially, they'll have 1, 2, 3 forwards around to try to force the turnover back into their hands.
Puck picked up and recovered. What a pass! What a goal! KOVA Esports off the turnover. Oh, Nelly able to find Biluxit there. What a pass. And KOVA able to get the opening goal.
Absolutely, and in that instance, I mean, they caught SAWO trying to transition up the ice. What a turnover right there, and then you said it, what a pass. Everyone on SAWO Esports was caught flat-footed, and Biluxit buries it. Great bait by Honelli there. I mean, he just kind of waited, delayed. Everyone collapsed towards him, and he threads the needle through to Biluxit, and no chance for Mahukati on that. I'm not even sure if he saw that coming.
And you're talking about a centerman here. Top 5 in assists entering today. Could be a very, very bright future for him, all things considered. Time will certainly tell him, but of course, we've seen it in this division in particular. Teams not afraid to mix things up. KOVA, I think you're going to want to make the playoffs here to really establish that Honelli's going nowhere. An opportunity there for KOVA. A little bit off the mark. Great passing there. Tried to find Veluxit. Again, Honelli, somebody back in the Elite Division for the first time since Season 5. It is Season 11. Took some time off. Certainly not out of place on the Elite stage. Let's see what KOVA can do here. Final 5 minutes of play in the first period. They already have that opening goal. Good forechecking pressure there from Honelli. Not able to win it back, though. Let's see what SAWO can do. Okonku again with the space, just beating him north-south. There is a delayed call here, though. And again, we'll see SAWO go to the power play. Again, the counter just 1 of 12 on the season. Certainly, that sub 10% percentage has to jump up at some point. And it might here off the turnover. Not to interrupt you there, but a good poke check to win it back, but an even better block by Zip Player.
Yeah, that was a really good play by him. Could have been dangerous had he taken another trip right there, but ends up paying off as his stick from that LB or L1 here, I guess we're playing on PlayStation, ends up knocking that puck loose.
Zip Player has it here. Good offensive zone time on the PK. That shot doesn't find its way through, and a great job there by Okonku to pull backhand and draw the trip. Zip Player going to the box. Big chance for SAWO. Passed over. Pass into the middle. Loose puck was recovered. So it'll be 27 seconds of 5-on-3 action here for SAWO. Something's got to give on the man advantage.
Chrysitus has to win this face-off.
Huge face-off. Tie up there. Loose puck will be recovered by SAWO. Great aggressiveness. Honelli, what a job there. They'll essentially get it back to at least a 5-on-4 situation. SAWO, good pass here. Opportunity, a bit too much patience on display there, though. Went against him. Was knocked down by Fakiri. Good outlet to find Veluxit here. Tries to weave his way through. Still in possession. Kicks back to the point. Knock him to Fakiri. He'll send it down and around. Tremendous time wasting here for KOVA. Just 35 seconds to go on the SAWO man advantage. Good pass though to Okonku. Tries to north-south, and that time Sockham stands tall. He'll send it all the way down and around, and Sin KOVA survive. Talk about the offensive struggles on the power play for SAWO. We are seeing why KOVA has the second best penalty kill in the league entering play, although SAWO will again go back to the man advantage.
Wow, I mean, I guess we could take a good look at their power play, and you're really starting to get an idea of perhaps where they struggle on it. That being said,
fired just wide. Nipsley not able to hit the target. That could have been dangerous had time not expired. Sin for KOVA Esports, we know they take a lot of penalties because of the physical style. If there's a team to take them against, apparently at SAWO, they just haven't been able to make them pay. And for KOVA, 1 shot, 1 goal. It's enough for the lead.
Yeah, and I think I'm not too sure if all of them were stick penalties, but I think they were from KOVA Esports, so pretty interesting right there, especially with how much they hit. They do seem to be relatively disciplined, not taking hitting penalties. It's just the sticks that are kind of getting them in the trouble right now, but we're seeing why SAWO perhaps doesn't quite have the numbers. They look good once they've established themselves, but they can't. It's really hard for them to get themselves established. Their break-ins aren't always the best. When they do break it in, I think they try to penetrate that middle a bit too early instead of cycling it around. I mean, it works for 5-on-5 sometimes because you're counting on the loose pucks, but when the team can just throw the puck down the other way, a bit more patience, a leaf out of KOVA Esports book would go a long way to help SAWO get their power play going. As you can see, again, they struggle on the break-in with the man advantage.
We'll see how this face-off goes. Crucial moment here, even in the early stages of this second period against him. We mentioned it in the first game, and even in this one, you see Chrysoustis doing a good job on the draws. Wasn't able to win that one, though. And already we are halfway through this man advantage for SAWO, the league's worst power play. Trying to find the back of the net. If they can, and it's going to be another penalty on KOVA Esports. Less discipline than me at the buffet. This is unbelievable.
Yep, hands off the R1 button for the rest of the game, I would say. I mean, that's just, they got to be feeling it, but a great face-off win. Couldn't hold the line, and, well, they're getting plenty of penalty kill practice.
Good chance here on the break-in. Loose puck is recovered. Tackle control in front. Loose puck off the side of the net. Shoveled around the back. Konku gets it down low. Back to 5-on-4. That one beyond the control of tackle control. And again, 50 seconds to go on the man advantage for SAWO. Poked away. Sin, that blue line control here for KOVA is something to behold in this shorthanded situation. And there's Fakiri again. I'm not going to say there's a man crush on the defensive abilities of Fakiri, but that is someone to keep an eye on. You want to learn how to be good at defense in this game. He has been spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's here for SAWO, taken away. We'll see what KOVA can do on the other side here. Back to 5-on-5 for how long, we have to ask. It's Zip player. Tried to throw one on. Definitely not what he was looking for, I assure you. But a chance here for SAWO nonetheless. Nipsely stepping in, sends it across. Nobody home on the pass. This one will be dumped all the way down. Sin, perhaps a mistake there. No icing on the play. Why not? I mean, I'm sure he thought he was still on the kill. The game apparently thought KOVA was still on the kill. Why even bother with the icing call at this stage? SAWO back in on the attack, though. Good poke check there to free up possession. Opportunity tactical control for Okonkwo. He gets demolished on the hit. A clear injury there, but SAWO still in possession. One back. Okonkwo tried it on the short side. Again, tried to feed it in front. Christousis just not able to find the space. Great chances for SAWO, but still no paydirt. Opportunity now for Veluxit. He's down low into the corner. Around the back. Sakam pinching in on the play. Wraparound bid is denied. Mehukati able to protect that post.
Yeah, I like it. KOVA starting to throw a lot of different looks here at the SAWO defense to try to keep them on their toes, and that will really open it up for them as they can get a bit more fancy with SAWO. Not too sure what's going to come at them. And on the
flip side there, I suppose you were to say. I'm not sure what happened there, Sid. It's okay. This game taking your breath away as that save will as well. Mehukati using the pad there to stop that one, keeping his team in it, making a couple of big saves. In that first game, he had a great chance to make a couple of the stops. It didn't really go his way. A lot better in this one, despite the goal against. Chance here, tried to pull backhand. It was poked away. KOVA still in on the attack. Fakiri sends it down low, straight into the awaiting arms. The SAWO player. And SAWO still looking for their first goal in this game. Miscommunication there in the neutral zone. The pass went off the skates. KOVA tried to work it back in. No space found. Big play. Tackle control. Scores! The captain makes it happen on the breakaway. What a pinch from the defenseman. And SAWO have tied this game.
An excellent read and an even better saucer pass to put him in on the breakaway. Tough break for Monkey Head, who played it pretty well, but it was an in-tight shot on the forehand glove side. That's a move with a high probability of success this year. As you can see, it kind of goes off the bottom of Monkey Head's glove, but SAWO tying it up. And look at me, I didn't even knock my microphone cord out this time in excitement as I did off that last face-off. So there we go. We have answers. We have a tie game. 1-1 SAWO, but here come KOVA.
Back and forth action, a shot on there. Maybe KOVA looking for that lucky bounce again to reestablish a lead. Moments after, of course, giving up a goal. We saw that in the first game. 10-4, though, the advantage in the draws. Tie up here for SAWO. They're not going to come up with it. Pass back. Sakam hasn't tried to pick a corner. Walk down in front. So we said for Christousis there, he was doing a good job of keeping it close on the draws. Not so much in this one. Another gigantic hit from Sakam. More like Rock'em Sock'em. Am I right? Ah, jokes. Anyway, KOVA Esports not able to do anything on that possession. Let's see what SAWO was able to do here. Again, working into Okonkwo on the far side. Taking a lot of punishment there, though. Sakam continuing to play the body. Opportunity taken away in the neutral zone. Or not the neutral zone, but now through the neutral zone they go. That was the slot there. They're trying to work it through, and it just hasn't happened. Opportunity, perhaps. Taken away. Loose puck recovered. Still a scramble for it. Loose puck covered by Mehukati. Couple of close calls there for SAWO yet again, Sid.
Yeah, and KOVA really starting to push right here. SAWO kind of getting a little turned around in their own end at times. And KOVA with another face-off.
Big rebound, just not there for Honelli. Final 2 minutes of play here in the second period. See what SAWO can do. Maybe try to wind down the clock. The basketball style, get that last shot. Final minute here. They try to feed. Okonkwo again. Down that right-hand side, at least, screen right, of course. The left winger and Okonkwo just not able to time it correctly. Another big face-off here. Final minute of play here in the second period. Tie up, controlled by KOVA. Opportunity for Veluxit. Nowhere to go. Gets it back off the turnover. Finds the other winger. Shot on from Zip player. Doesn't go through. 5 seconds to go. One more chance here. Okonkwo has some help. Shot on the rebound. There. No. Denied. Monkey Head stands tall and protects the goal line. And Sin, for the second game in a row, we see Monkey Head make a big stop in the final minute of.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, this seems like the end of every single period. SAWO Esports gets, some kind of crazy chance at the end, and every single time Monkey Head has made the save right there. That came from, it was an aggressive play by Fakiri in the neutral zone, maybe thinking there wasn't quite enough time for them to get a chance of their own, stepping up maybe a bit earlier than he would in the neutral around the red line instead of the blue line, where he's been making most of his physical plays, and the reason why SAWO keeps trying to break it in on the screen right hand side. That being said, however, SAWO again unable to capitalize, but I think we're going to get another look. It was Chrysitus. What a dish. We've talked about it. He is the facilitator on this team. A perfect saucer pass to tackle control, who's able to finish that off. Doesn't do anything fancy. Just goes straight to the forehand and buries it. I mean, just wow. I mean, that's a great pass. That's a pretty thing to have happen. It's so satisfying when you get to pull it off.
And the 6th goal of the season for tackle control. Someone who started as his team center. Again, we talked about Archer Super Virta led the way to him going back on defense, but still an offensive threat to say the least. Third period underway here. KOVA quickly in on the attack. Bank off the back of the net there, really the side of the cage. Nelly just not able to get the proper angle. Of course, we see that a lot, those odd angle shots, trying to catch a goaltender off guard. Be an offside call here on SAWO. Sin. What's it going to take here to find the difference maker? Is it a matter of just waiting things out, going for those high-quality chances, or are you going to see a little bit more of the teams just, the willingness to throw the puck on net?
I think we might see a bit of that, but for real, I think it's going to have to take one of these teams doing something that they haven't quite done. I think for KOVA, maybe just throwing that puck on net, really scrambling for rebounds. For SAWO, it'll be maybe being able to break the puck in on the left side of the ice. Fakiri is a menace out there.
A little bit movement here from KOVA, but the loose puck is recovered by SAWO. They have the numbers here. Quickly evaporates before them, forced to slow things down a little bit. Go back to the point. Okonkwo looking, throws one on, deflection bid there. Blocked down in front, big stretch pass all the way down. No icing on the play yet again. Mercy being shown for KOVA. Errant pass there before SAWO to reset. See what they're able to do on the breakout here. Again, a 3-2 victory for SAWO in the first game. Deadlocked at 1 goal apiece in this one. Opportunity for Biluxit poked away. Who has it? Feeds the centerman. It's Kasusta here trying to work his way through. Can't do so. A chance down the other way. Zip player over. What a pass from Sockham, but just not able to find the back of the net. It will lead to an interference call. A damn good penalty to take the tackle. Could have been a goal against otherwise.
That was absolutely going to lead to a goal. What a pass from Sockham, and I believe that was Honelli crashing the net, and great penalty to take.
Between the legs pass as the 3rd best power play in this league, and KOVA Esports goes to work. Great movement, thrown on, and a big save by Mehukati. And KOVA might have a chance here. Or I should say SAWO might have a chance here on the other side, but they missed time. KOVA did a good job of recovering there, forcing the offside. SAWO, middle of the road penalty kill, so certainly better than what we've seen from their. I can't say completely imperfect power play. They do have at least 1 power play goal, but obviously today hasn't been a great day. Opportunity for Gary over for Zip player. Shot on, scores! Deflected in front. O'Neill able to find the back of the net again. Sin, maybe not how you expect the puck to find the back of the net. A weak shot from Sockham that leads to the goal.
Yeah, but I like the decision making from him. They looked for the middle passes. It was kind of like a hot potato in there. Wasn't quite going where they wanted, bouncing around. It kicks out to him. He just decides throw that puck on net. At the very least, it gets in deep. A great deflection right there, but I believe that was Honelli and it just sneaks in off Mehukati. But that's what can happen if you just start throwing that puck on the net. And we talked about it a bit, what we think it might take for one of these teams to get ahead. Well, KOVA just did it. Threw the puck on the net. A good thing happened. They have the lead.
Big time goal there. And again, Honelli has returned to the Elite Division, really to the ECL structure for the first time since Season 5. Again, we're in Season 11, not looking out of place. And a name to pay attention to, not just for this season, but perhaps the next few. There will be a tripping call here. So, Stin, make or break moment for SAWO. They need a goal.
Absolutely. This is when your power play needs to come through. You're down. You've been giving so many opportunities here. The pressure's on. They're even going to take a timeout here by the looks of it. That's how important they realize the intensity of this power play needs to be ramped up. And not just that, they need to really get it set up and be able to find an opportunity. As we're getting a look at the trip right there. Maybe not the most strong. I don't know what they're quite looking at. Yeah. Okay. So went to his feet instead of the puck. That's probably what he's taking a gander at. I know the feeling all too well. Poke check button, while it is stronger, still not perfect at times, but nonetheless, you have to be careful with your stick. And SAWO Esports, a chance to tie it.
Yeah, opportunity here. Tie up off the draw. Loose puck is recovered. SAWO going to work. What a poke check by Honelli. Sin, I'm calling my shot here. That is a player to look out for here in the future. KOVA Esports might have a difficult time keeping him on the squad. Big blocker save there by Monkeyhead. Quickly recovered, though, by SAWO. Jesus just not able to find the pass. This one sent down halfway through the man advantage. And now 8:40 to play in the third period. Crucial points at stake. Nipsley for tackle control at the point. He brings it down low into the corner off the pass. Again, gets it back. D to D. Nipsley stepping in. Tried to flip one on. Just doesn't go. Final 10 seconds of the man advantage. Tackle control. Shot. Rebound. Denied again. Monkeyhead outweighs Nayats on the play. And a huge penalty kill there for KOVA.
Yeah, SAWO finally got a puck to the net right there after a long way waiting. I was surprised when I showed their power play on screen. 0 for 5 with 0 registered shots. I mean, feels bad. They get a couple on that one and a good chance right there, but even better from Monkeyhead, recognizing the handedness of Nayaz, recognizing his off-balance shot was the only one he could take. He could really sit on that short side and be able to guard against it. Not really much room on the far side, and a good save. They maintain the pressure. They take their time out themselves. Now getting that stamina up, that will be incredibly important here as the penalty kill ends as well.
The opportunity now. 7.5 to go. Time winding down. Again, the second game of 2 between these two teams. Won't go anywhere though after this. It is Team Leisure and Roots Gaming going head to head as well. Still a long way to go in this broadcast. Long way to go in this game as well. SAWO D to D. Great block by a Zip player to get in the way of that one. SAWO still in possession. Nipsley has it here. Can't throw it on. Zip player, great job defensively. The pass in front, just off the mark. Great forward-checking pressure here from SAWO. KOVA able to survive. In on the attack now. Voluptus has options. Tried to feed Fakiri. As Zip player covering for him. And Sin, there it is again. KOVA getting in trouble with the poke checking. An unbelievable lack of discipline for them, even though we know they take a lot of penalties. SAWO, this is it. Make or break. See how this face-off goes. And they get the win. Tie up. They get the puck. Nipsley stepping in. 4 minutes to play. Tackle control. Can't snipe it. Opportunity again here now. Again, Nipsley at the point. Great feed. Back across. Glove save, Monkeyhead. What a stop. Unbelievable save again from the KOVA netminder.
Yeah, you can really see where SAWO wants to go with it. They want to collapse onto KOVA, and they want to get the middle, and they want the down-low chance, often on the one-timer. KOVA so far done a great job of stifling that, but they allow the chance there.
Tough win, puck in front, poked away, recovered again, loose shot just wide. And a delayed call here, 5 on 3, coming up for SAWO.
The sticks of KOVA are just all over the place right now. I don't know if we've ever seen this many penalties in a game, not to mention just straight up tripping penalties. KOVA have got to be careful. At some point, this is going to come back to bite you.
KOVA does win the draw and cannot get the clearance. Big chance here. Thrown back in front. Big blocker save again by Monkeyhead. KOVA in possession, and they send it all the way down. 30 seconds to go on the 5 on 3. Monkeyhead making some spectacular stops. Let's see what SAWO can do. We're going to be back to 5-on-4 here in a second. Tackle control. Can't get the shot on. Nipsley able to keep it in the zone. Chance once more. Over for Okonkwo. 40 seconds to go now. Chance here. Throw him back in front. Doesn't quite find its way to the back of the net. Again, thrown in front. Backhand doesn't go. Fakiri able to clear. And somehow, some way, KOVA Esports will survive that situation. Then you'd think there's only so many times you can shoot yourself in the foot, but apparently not. Somehow surviving. I mean, it's excellent penalty killing for the most part. Final minute of play here, 50 seconds to go. A 1-goal lead for KOVA. They dropped the first game. Sin, it's another penalty.
Wow. Okay, so SAWO, is that what, your 8th opportunity at this point? I mean, you cannot be given any more chances than you're being given right now. This is your season potentially on the line. It's time to get it going. Execute.
They win the draw. Tackle control. Loose puck in front. Cleared away. Honelli. And Hokati, I'll be intrigued to see if they pull him. I mean, they're on the power play. You might as well. We've seen it from teams before. Picked up, not cleared all the way down. 30 seconds to go for SAWO. Opportunity for Okonkwo along the half wall. Goes back to tackle control. Gets it back once more. Great movement. God save. Monkey head again. Unbelievable tracking. And another great stop.
Yeah, and maybe not the shot power Mr. Nipsley wanted on it, but it was a great look right there. Just didn't go their way, but they have another big face-off opportunity.
Big win, set play, and it doesn't go. Second chance off the side of the net. No idea how that one didn't go. If Monkey had actually got a piece of it or not. 10 seconds. One more rush for SAWO. Can they find the goal? It'll be offside with 4.6 remaining. And they finally pulled the netminder. Really questionable call there to wait this long. Tie up on the play, kicked back. That will do it. KOVA Esports gonna hold on to take this one by the score of 2-1. So both teams walking away with 2 points, a crucial 2 points, perhaps even more so for KOVA. Be able to deny SAWO the opportunity to catch them, even more so in the standings. So, Sin, that was one of the most bizarre games I think I have ever called.
Yeah,
here with NHL Gamer.
I mean, we kept talking about, it was just a parade of kind of both sides shooting themselves in the foot so often. KOVA taking penalty after penalty after penalty, and then SAWO just not able to establish much at all on the power play, and errant passes, missed opportunities, seemingly like skating into defenders at times, like trying to go to the middle, just trying to force it into the middle, and it just wasn't there. And they kept trying to do it. It was very odd. And then, of course, you mentioned it, not choosing to pull the goaltender until it's a neutral zone face-off with 4.6 seconds left. It was it's hard to say, but maybe some power play practice is in order for SAWO Esports. KOVA, you got your penalty kill practice in. You don't need to practice that for a while. Your percentage is going to be out of this world, but it's got to be a tough loss there for SAWO. I mean, they had the opportunities, they had the shots, but Monkey Head at the end especially was unreal. Those saves on that last PK were, I mean, they were the difference makers. KOVA did everything in their power to take all the penalties, potentially losing the game, and Monkey Head, time and time again, bailed them out.
9 penalties taken. 9 penalties taken. I will repeat it for emphasis. 9 penalties taken. Unbelievable.
Were they all trips? I'm pretty sure they were all trips, too.
I know. That's the crazy thing. Maybe one interference call at best.
Oh, big oof. But, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let that game speak for itself. I don't know how many more times I can make the same points. That was, as you said, bizarre. Pretty much the best way to say it. Big for KOVA, they needed those 2 points, and for SAWO, really a heartbreaker. That's just kind of the story of their season. Missed opportunities.
I mean, for KOVA, I'll say this. Again, some real bright spots today. I thought a real, maybe not star-making performance, but Honelli continuing to prove that he is a top-notch player in this league. Very, very impressed with his effort today. Again, Fakiri on that left-hand side defensively, I thought was spectacular as well, but clearly Monkeyhead wins the day for KOVA, coming up big when he needed to. Again, we talked about it leading into this game, not the best numbers compared to what he had done last season, but he was really on point today. And for KOVA, like we said, second most penalty minutes in the league entering today, by far the most hits. And seemingly, Sin, they got away from using the hit stick and went to using the old right bumper R1 option. And I do not recommend doing that, because I know we have some players in the chat right now from some very good teams that are saying there's no chance in hell, no matter how good your PK is, that if you take 18 penalty minutes against us, that we're not going to make you pay for it. So fortunately for KOVA, they were playing SAWO. Again, I like some of the bright spots for SAWO. They do have some talent on that team. Don't know if they're going to be a playoff team by the end of it when you have a power play that is just this. I mean, Sin, there's so many different
It's
for that power play. But
yeah.
End of the day, it is what it is. We move on. A very interesting set of games there. Again, between KOVA Esports and SAWO Esports. Both teams picking up 2 crucial points. But that is not it for this broadcast. We will have more on those 2 teams and the standings a little bit later on. But again, we will be back after a brief intermission. And on the flip side, we will set the stage. Moving on to our second matchup of the day. It is Team Leisure and Roots Gaming. 2 more teams trying to battle it out for those lower half playoff spots. And again, what is a very chaotic situation here in the Elite Division. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Wilhelmin ykköskentän pakkeina uudet tulokkaat. Sour Cream Snacks ja Flaming Hot Snacks. Kotikatsomoissa mukana Wilhelm Snacksit.
Welcome back, everybody. Again, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. It's time for our second matchup between 2 teams, again, that are on the outside looking in here of the playoff format. Of Roots right on the buffer line. It is Team Leisure against Roots Gaming here. Send 2 very interesting games to start things off here in the Elite Division, at least for our broadcast today. And very excited to see how this matchup goes. Let's get everybody a look here at the latest around the league, though. Of course, the games we're covering, not the only games that are going on here. Sin, there you see Northern Ascendancy picking up some big points, 3 points against Yippee Vaskala. Yeah, Farjestad in action. It's a shocker that we weren't calling their games. It seems like we're the exclusive commentators for them. Big games as well for H-Reds, taking all 4 points away from Vesapampa as well.
Yeah, and that's a big shock. That'll send shockwaves throughout the standings and, of course, throughout the league. Vesapampa, as we saw earlier, we're sitting pretty comfortably amongst that top 3, and we mentioned H-Reds a lot last season as a team trying to make that, big 2 or a big 3 when Yippee Vaskala was in it, but trying to make it a big 4 and beating a team like Vesapampa, who got off to such a good start and is up there among Havu and Philadelphia. That's a really big boon for them and kind of a statement to be made, picking up 4 points.
Absolutely. So we're going to look at the updated standings here as well, following those first few matchups. And again, with the performance that we saw from Northern Ascendancy, you see Roots dropping back outside of the playoff structure. They are currently in 9th, and again, taking on Team Leisure now in 13th. But interesting turn of events there on the left-hand side of the bracket, of course, with the teams that are currently inside the playoff structure. But Farjestad up into 3rd, Yippee Vaskala into 6th after overcoming a bit of a slow start to their season following a lot of roster turnover. Sin, again, we play 30 games a season, each team does, and we still have such a long way to go. I can't wait to see how this plays out, because we are guaranteed to see some top teams miss out on the playoffs at this stage. It's an incredible setup that we have here. But again, we are just about ready to get the action going here again between Team Leisure and Roots Gaming. So we're going to get right down into the rundown that we have here as you get a look at the team matchup. And again, Sin, you see for Team Leisure, team that struggles on the power play leads to them struggling in terms of goals scored, and their defense is also a little bit suspect.
Yeah, and we've talked about it before. It's Surprising their defense is a bit worse than I believe it was at times last season, but also the just not being able to score. That's a kind of a big surprise at times. They seem to be really creative with their offense, sometimes to their own detriment. They're just not able to bury them. Sometimes their one-timers a bit too far out. The goalie can see them coming, and that seems to be sort of their downfall right now, not being able to score here. And we haven't gotten to see them too much, but I'm interested to see how they try to amend that here in this matchup against Roots.
So let's take a look now at the team lineups for the two squads. Of course, for Team Leisure, the predominantly German contingent, we see Krinke, Playmaker SJ, and Psycho Skills moving up to forward for this game. One of the big talking points we have there, which means Giselle is in the lineup here. Their utility player, Frankie, of course, the captain, leading the way on defense, and an RPH between the pipes. For Roots Gaming, of course, Migo Buna, Fopa Toflin, and Sadapoika. Sile and Tansky on defense, and Swag between the pipes. So, Sin, again, one of the big talking points here. Profane Kiss out of the lineup for Team Leisure. So, Psycho Skills moves up from defense to wing. Frankie changes sides on defense. Normally the left side defender. He moves over to the right. We'll see how these lineup changes happen to affect Team Leisure today. We'll talk more about that in a moment here, though. Let's move on to the individual matchups, though. Kicking things off, the battle of the centers. It's Playmaker SJ and Fopa Toflin. Sin, again, decent numbers across the board here for the most part amongst these two centers.
Yeah, but, we've been very impressed at times by the play of Fopa Toflin. He's been one of the guys for Roots that's really kind of driving the play sometimes. Tied for 9th in assists, obviously, leading his team, and has 4 power play goals. Just a guy that seems to get the job done when it matters most. And on the flip side, Playmaker SJ, as a center, leading his team in goals, assists, and points. While it's not necessarily bad for him, it does leave a lot to be desired from the wingers.
And speaking of the wingers, we'll move over to that matchup now for Team Leisure. Again, it's Krinke and Psycho Skills stepping up from the blue line. And on the flip side for Roots, again, Migo Buna and Sadapoika. Sin, quickly, what stands out here amongst these 4, aside, of course, from Psycho Skills stepping up?
Yeah, obviously that's going to be something to look at, and I'm not too sure how many games he's played at wing so far, but that's an impressive point total nonetheless when you were playing at some defense at times. We've mentioned him a lot, very good at driving offense, so I'm very interested to see how he'll work out on the wing. And on the flip side, Migo Buna leading his team in goals with 10 very impressive point totals thus far. Sadapoika, again, could stand to, get a few more, and I think Roots Gaming, again, if they get just a bit more goals, they can really have a chance to solidify their playoff spots, and Sadapoika probably going to be one of those guys who wants to get a few more points.
Moving over to the battle of the blue line for Team Leisure, it is Giselle, and again, the captain of the team in Frankie. On the flip side for Roots Gaming, it's Sile, and the captain of their squad, it is Tansky. Again, Sin, you look there, the huge advantage in terms of offensive output for Roots.
Yeah, I mean, that's... It's jarring, the difference right there. I mean, one side's getting plenty of it, the other not so much, but perhaps Brace is just they want to drive the play offensively with their forwards and, get a lot of shutdown from the defense, which speaks to, helping out RPH between the pipes, who does have some pretty good numbers despite where his team is in the standings.
And again, now moving over to our last matchup, Battle of the Goaltenders, as it's RPH against Swag, 2 of the better goaltenders in this division. We haven't seen as much of Swag so far this season. Through 16 games for Roots, it's been an 8-game split between Swag and Kazu between the pipes. Kazu has been the better of the 2 so far. An 80 save percentage compared to a 75, a big difference maker there. So, Sim, we'll see if Swag can step up to really prove that he should be the guy between the pipes for this squad.
Yeah, it's really going to have to. It's Team Leisure. They really want to get their goal scoring going, so they're going to look for any sort of advantage they can and try to jump on it.
So with that, of course, as always, let's move over to our 3 keys to success for each of the 2 sides. We'll kick things off with Team Leisure, and Sin, you kind of mentioned it here, the key, strike first. It's easy to say that you should score first, but Leisure has been shut out 8 times this season already. 8 out of 18, 4-4-2 in 1-goal games. They've been to 3 overtime games this season. the lack of offense has resulted in those very close games, and one goal could be the difference. They need to figure out those offensive struggles. Dead last in goals for per game at this stage of the season. And secondly, of course, we talked about it. You saw it with the defensive numbers. You've had your offensive defenseman move up to the wing. You still need the defense to contribute here offensively. We see it with all the top teams, whether it be a Philadelphia, a Havu. You know the defense is going to get involved, and it might work out, or maybe it will cause even more troubles offensively for Team Leisure, but that defense needs to be involved. And then our last key here for them is the big saves. RPH has a top 3 save percentage behind one of the worst offenses and one of the lowest rated defenses as well. If Leisure are able to battle back and make the playoffs, they will have RPH to thank for it. He has easily been the MVP of this squad. Sin, we are just about ready for game time. What do we got for Roots? What's it going to take for them?
Well, the first one here is they have quite a unique special teams. On the man advantage, they have the best power play, 11 of 24. That's nearly 46%. On the PK, however, they're only 10 of 17, which is good enough for 15th. Definitely not going to have... not going to be successful. They're going to have to get that penalty kill up there, but the power play is always a good thing. Second point here is sharing the wealth. All 5 of their skaters have power play goals. 4 out of the 5 have game-winning goals, and, you know, not one guy really seems to dominate the goal scoring, especially when it comes to the front 3 with 10, 9, and 8 goals, respectively. The last one here is Bring the Boom. Roots has 3 players in the top 10 for hits, bottom half of the league in penalty minutes taking. That is, of course, a great formula for success, as we saw, you know, KOVA Esports getting into the penalty trouble, not so much from their hits, but from their lack of discipline. And Roots with the weak penalty kill, it's a good thing that they stay out of the box.
So again, we are just about ready for action here. The first of 2 games between Team Leisure and Roots Gaming. Sin, another thing to notice here, you know, who's using the puck mover and who isn't. A lot more of a presence here in this game with the puck-moving defenseman. 3 playmaking forwards, though, for Roots Gaming.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Maybe a little bit of a shift away from the puck mover on forward as the meta develops and sort of reacts. But I'm pretty sure we saw that from Team Leisure with the 2-way forward at center and then playmaker and puck mover on the wings before. Can't remember. Of course, we see a lot of player builds, as he said. But yeah, that seems to be, it just, again, it's a lot of, everyone wants puck control. Everyone wants, you know, the ability to hold on to it, maintain the pressure. It's very important. So we'll see how that shapes up here. Team Leisure, though, you said it, the first goal would be immensely important for them. But Roots, no slouch, man. They can really make you pay.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing to note there with the playmakers as well, you have that moment of, at least I saw them, all 3 of them, same height, same weight. So interesting there, going with the same build, not much uniqueness there. Again, you saw the advertisement there. Who knows what the proper command is? It's wallpapers. There it is. NHLgamer.com. Rep your favorite team. Do what you got to do. Cheer the boys on, and we'll see, of course, how this one goes. Team Leisure and Roots Gaming in action here. Both teams trying to find their way into the playoff structure here, and it's an opportunity early on for Roots. Of course, in the black and green. Team Leisure here in the white, trying to lead things down the other way. It will. Playmaker sends it around down low for Krenke. Quick pass in front there for Psycho Skills. That was a quick little look there. Not too bad. Again, we'll talk about it. The right wing for Team Leisure. How can they really get that offense going in this game? Perhaps one of your top players in terms of point production, a defenseman moving up to the wing is the way to do it. He has it here. Pass across. Chest doesn't go. I think they couldn't get the most of that one. But so far, I mean, a couple of quick opportunities for Team Leisure. They certainly look up to the task to score some goals today. Krenke with a little bit of a step being shut down. Great defense there. But a quick turnover, shot on, and a big stop by Swag, but still fighting for the puck. Team Leisure looking good in the early stages. Shot blocked. No follow-up pickup there from Psycho Skills, but he's able to recover possession. Kicks it down low straight into the awaiting arms of Seeley. He turns it over to playmaker SJ. Kicks it back to the point. Frankie, a big shot on. Rebound there. Still no shot. Follow-up chance. Bouncing puck. And Roots will be able to find it and settle it down. Nerve-wracking moment there for the team. Able to slow things down. Hopefully get some offensive zone time here on the other side. 2 players run into one another. Not exactly what you're looking for. Here comes Leisure again. Shot on. Great rebound control by Swag. Same Team Leisure, good start.
Yeah, not too bad of a start, and I like what they're going for. You know, they're looking for the middle, but they're not afraid to throw the puck on net either. And I liked what I saw early from Giselle, just trying to move a little bit, throw the wrister on. It didn't get through, but it's still a good look.
Nor did that shot or the subsequent pass. See what Roots can do on the follow-up. Tried the big stretch pass over to Migo Buna. Bit of a step there for SJ, just not able to completely work his way through. Covered by the winger, kick back to the point. Giselle has it one more time. Frankie shot on. Great block there. Big stretch pass again. Just not able to find Migo Buna behind the defense. Frankie, one of the better defensive defensemen in this league. Yellow icon for Team Leisure. The captain, keep an eye on him throughout this one. Here's Psycho Skills down low in the corner. Kicks back to the point. D2D, one-timer. Blocked down in front again. Seen that so far from Roots. Great job. Clogging up the passing lanes. Bit of space now for Migo Buna, though, to go to work. Pass over. Poika was knocked away. We said we'd certainly see it. Team Leisure being able to set up a little bit more. Roots having to rely a little bit more on the counterattack and the rush.
Yeah, but they're doing a really good job of closing off the middle, and that works to their advantage, stopping those cross creases and stopping the point shots, which we've seen.
Puck dumped in, kicked back to the point. Delay over to Tonski. Quick pass over, no space. Big sauce pass. This will be on net to Swag. Good pass to play it out, but straight into the hands of the opposition. Shot banked off the side of the net. Loose puck in front. Roots able to settle that one down again. Quick pace here to this first period. Final 5 minutes of play already. Opportunity stepping in. Loose puck and a big stop there. RPH went all out. Stop that one at the near post. Big stretch pass, though. Here's Psycho Skills down the other way. Sealay's with them. Pass back. Scores! Great display of puck control there from Psycho Skills. Kicks it back into the slot. And there you go, Stin. Team Leisure striking first. Playmaker SJ with the goal.
Yeah, Psycho Skills really looking like he belongs up front. Excellent job of puck protection with the L skate, and then the switch back to get the pass, the kind of the passing lane available to Playmaker, who makes no mistake and tucks it home. That's just a really solid display of understanding how to move yourself to open up a passing lane that may not be there initially by Psycho Skills. Great job from him. Great finish from Playmaker. 1-0 Team Leisure.
Tough break there for Swag as well. Looked to have covered it well. But again, SJ finding the back of the net. The team leader in goals for Team Leisure. And the first to double digits. His 10th of the season. You see another stop there by RPH. Faced off in the offensive zone here for Roots. Face-off battle is incredibly close between these two centermen up to this point in the season. Just a difference of 0.1 in terms of the winning percentage. 48.9 for Fopa Toflin and a 49% for Playmaker SJ. That is just about as close as you can get. Great poke check here by Psycho Skills again. Stepping up. Opportunity. Tried that near post shot. Just blocked down. He has looked great so far, Sin. And we've seen that a couple of times this year. Defensemen moving up to forward and not exactly looking out of place. Psycho Skills looking good so far. Drops it back to Frankie, his typical D partner. Pass there, intercepted. Final 5. Roots have an opportunity here, perhaps. Poked away. Second chance. Backhand doesn't find its way through. So Team Leisure, following the instructions, getting that opening goal. Very good start for them. It's 1-0.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Psycho Skills looking like he's handling the transition to from defense to offense extremely well, and it seems to be an NHL 21. It's beneficial for that to happen even more so than it has been in previous years, with defense and, you know, the tools that defensemen have available being so much more important. Knowing how to time a poke check correctly is just as important, honestly, for forwards as everyone else is. We're seeing a lot more forechecking going on. That neutral zone trap game, we just don't see it as much. It's a lot of back and forth action. You can gain the zone sometimes with a bit more ease, and forcing those turnovers the other way with the defensive skill stick and the poke, a much more viable option here. And we saw it coming out from Psycho Skills in big ways at times, as it looks like we're going to get another look at his goals. You can see here, using the L skating to his advantage to guard the puck, flipping back and opening up the passing lane to Playmaker SJ. I mean, that is a beautiful display of stick work right there by Psycho Skills.
I mean, again, we have been impressed with him for the past 2 seasons, really. His ability offensively from the back end and on display there. Great job by him. And again, perhaps, just maybe, what Team Leisure needed. Of course, Profane Kiss sitting out, still repping the team in the chat, though, cheering his teammates on, and so far, so good for Team Leisure. They're in possession here now. SJ, the goal scorer, dishes it down low. Miscommunication there with Krinka, not able to stay down low. We'll see what Roots can do here on the counterattack. Sadapoika able to withstand the pressure, gets the puck back, dishes it down low, and again up to the point, got scores! A fortunate deflection, but he finds the back of the net. Seeley with the goal, his 6th of the season, despite being a defenseman, and Roots have tied this one early.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of that this season. A lot more defensemen becoming goal scorers, and not just, coming from Havu or Philadelphia. A lot around the league. We're seeing it from Roots. That was a great play. RPH caught a bit to the left. I'm not too sure if it got caught in an animation or what, but as you said, a fortunate deflection finds its way in. We got a tie game.
Things can happen when you put shots on net. They score again. Miko Buna, the team leader in goal. Double the fun for Roots Gaming. All of a sudden, they're up 2-1.
Yeah, and it's simple. A dump and chase. They get on it. Hounds on the loose puck, finding the open man in the middle right there. Crept in. That was, I'm not going to say a completely missed coverage right there by Psycho Skills. I mean, he had his point guy to take a look at, but that was just too many white jerseys getting caught down low, and that's what can happen sometimes on those dump and chases. Great opportunity and a great pass to Migo Buna, who finishes it off, and a quick turn of events right there. Roots Gaming have the lead.
Migo Buna, again, as mentioned, the team leading scorer, now his 11th goal of the season. And just like that, 2 goals in under 3 minutes, and Roots might not be done here. Amigo Buna tries to go back to the point. Pass a little bit off the mark. Shell Shock Team Leisure here. What an outlet pass! Chance on the rush! And RPH comes up with a phenomenal save to keep this one close. What a breakout play for Roots.
That was phenomenal. I mean, to get almost like a partial 2-on-0 right there. RPH played it well, makes the save. That would have been disastrous had that gone in for Team Leisure.
See what they can do in response here. A very difficult 6 minutes to start this second period. Stretch pass there, intercepted easily. Fopa Toflin tries to walk his way through. Frankie able to shut him down. And a good outlet pass there to find Psycho Skills. The spin, dishes it low, back again. Great play. Loose puck still being fought for. And Roots able to come up with it. Push it back down low to settle things down. Again, they tried that quick outlet. Wasn't quite there on that attempt. Migo Buna able to recover the puck now. See what Roots can do. Turnover, though. A lot of turnovers in the neutral zone here. On the last few attempts, shot, deflection, bid doesn't quite go. Seeley will recover. Roots looking to bring it down the other way. Tonsky with a step. Brings it all the way around the back. Get back around there. Again, now one more time. Sadapoika down the wraparound, scores! Migo Buna has another one. It's 3 unanswered goals for Roots Gaming. What a turnaround here in the second period after a slow start in the first.
Yeah, Migo Buna showing why he is one of the biggest shooters in the league. He was tied for 6th, leading his team, obviously, and not hesitating to throw the puck on net and going for some opportunities. Catches RPH a little bit off guard, just a little bit slow to get to that right post, and just like that, 3 unanswered for Roots.
A difficult turn of events here for Team Leisure. Again, a team that struggles to score. You got the job done. You scored first. But ever since, it's been all Roots. Chance here. Shot doesn't go through. It's a great chance for Leisure in response. Just didn't quite go through. Chance here for Roots on the other side, though. Down low. Migo Buna on a brace, which must hurt Team Leisure in some way. Seeley circling around. Finds Fopa Toflin around the back. Migo Buna back in front. Great block. And a second chance is denied by RPH. Team Leisure right now completely on the back foot. An incredible turnaround here through the second period. Still have just over 6.5 or just under 6.5 minutes to go now. Plenty of time to try and get some momentum back, but they are really struggling to find their way through the neutral zone. This one over into the corner. Migo Buna there to recover it. Quick D-to-D pass, slap shot, knocked down. Loose puck, still fought on for. Giselle will recover. See what Team Leisure can do on the breakout. 5 people back already to patrol the blue line for Roots. So, Sim, we know what their strategy is. No forechecking pressure at this time, and it works out. There's the offside call.
Yeah, Team Leisure really had to work to try to get that puck in. At the end of the day, the timing play just a split second off with Psycho Skills and Krinke not able to time their blue line entry. But credit to Roots, you said it. They got back to that blue line so quickly, and they're very good at offensive zone pressure too. So that's really a good job of them knowing when they need to get back to set up at the blue line.
An offside call there against Roots on this occasion. 3:18 remaining here in the second period. Again, the first game of 2 between Team Leisure and Roots Gaming. The second matchup coming your way in the immediate aftermath. Again, ECL Elite Division Season 11. Loose puck scores! And Roots Gaming are running away with this one. Sada Poika gets in on the fun, his 9th of the year. And Roots now 4 unanswered goals. What a turn of events.
And that's, I'm sure Sadapoika feeling a bit vindicated right now as he was robbed on that 2-on-0 chance of getting a point. And in that one, just a fortunate rebound, but Roots pushing the play into the zone. Again, a dump and chase, and they'll be the first to get to it.
Team Leisure, though, able to recover. Psycho Skills able to feed Frankie. Now here's Krinko over the blue line. Got to take advantage of these opportunities where you actually get these clean zone entries. Giselle with the puck, shot on, can't get it through the traffic. Frankie fighting for it, he maintains possession. Final minute of play. Stretch pass there, doesn't find its way through. Roots, good puck possession here. They time it well at the line. Pass across ice, doesn't go. Final 4 seconds here. Can they get a shot off? Krinka past the playmaker, poked away. He does draw a penalty, though, with 0.1 seconds to go. So Sin heading in to the third. I mean, you have Team Leisure. You just gave up 4 unanswered goals in this penalty. Your power play gets to go to work, and I hate to say it, for those of you who followed the first matchup that we covered here, Team Leisure were tied with SAWO for the worst power play in the league, 1 out of 10. Of course, SAWO had about 11 or 12 power plays today and did not score a single goal. We'll see what Team Leisure can do. Honestly, Sin, against a struggling Roots Gaming penalty kill. They had the best power play in the league, but the second worst PK. So this might be the chance. I mean, something's got to give here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And this could be the thing that Leisure needs, not only to spark their own power play, but to get back in this game. It's simply not looking too good for them. I mean, it was an explosion by Roots. They were just all over them. The forecheck was great. They were putting pucks on net. They were getting rebounds. They were hungry, and Leisure just seemed to be almost taken for a loop. We'll see if they're able to bounce back here on this power play, but a good job from Roots to win the face-off and get it into their end.
Quick out, and they're in on the attack here. Sada Poika looking, 3 players on him to retrieve the puck back for Team Leisure. See what they're able to do here. Giselle able to bring it into the zone. Takes the hit from Seeley, who weaves his way out of traffic. What a display there by Seeley. A little bit of flair shown on the PK. Confident with the puck. And you can see why. Roots right now feeling the momentum. But a chance here still. 20 seconds to go on the man advantage. Playmaker goes back to the point. Opportunity now. Poked away but recovered. Frankie has it. Over to Giselle. Playmaker tries to throw one onto the traffic, and it's covered by Swag. A desperation animation there. But he is able to cover it, and we're back to 5-on-5.
Yep, and Team Leisure maybe, and obviously not the start they wanted in the neutral zone, and of course losing at that face-off too, but maybe just not quite enough desperation there when they did gain the zone. They were looking for a chance, they didn't quite find it, and just were a bit too hesitant to take a shot.
Frankie now able to find Playmaker once more. Great job by Fopa Toflin to shut things down. 4 minutes gone here in the third. Again, it was a 1-0 Team Leisure lead at the end of the first period. 4 unanswered goals for Roots Gaming. The quick out again. What a play! Not a point that has a step. Can't get the pass through, though. Frankie able to shut things down. Incredible heads-up play from, again, the Roots defenseman, Seeley and Tansky. Able to find these stretch passes. Chance here, though. Able to recover down low in the corner. Thrown all the way through the crease and all the way back to the Team Leisure zone. An unfortunate break there. Again, they need a goal, and they need one here fast. Anything can happen. Big miscommunication there at the blue line. You know, Sin, coming into this game, Team Leisure, I mean, they had a series split in their last 4 games. split series against SAWO and SJ Gaming. They started off the season 0-6-1, so very similar to SAWO. It had gone 6-4 since, but unfortunately for them, doesn't look like this first game is going to go their way. Chance thrown back all the way to the point. Incredible movement from Roots, but no high-quality chance on that attempt. This one will go down for icing off the missed pass.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if Tonsky thought he was going to get the puck right there. Had he been ready, if he would have ripped that one to the left side of RPH, it might have had a chance to go in. That was just a crazy bouncing puck, and RPH was not quite in position for a shot.
Chance there on net. RPH able to make the stop on that one again. Disappointing game for him, as we talked about. Top 3 goaltender in terms of save percentage, despite the losing record. Hasn't exactly been his game, been under siege from the second period onward for the most part. Team Leisure off the breakout. Giselle not able to do anything with it. We hit the halfway point of this third period just about. Migo Buna, again, 2 goals in this one. Pass over, pass across, and he scores! Sada Poika has his second of the game. Make it 5 unanswered goals for Roots Gaming.
And Team Leisure just seeming to be falling apart here. They had an odd man, almost an odd man rush, an odd man break-in opportunity that they fumbled the puck, and it didn't work out. Then they come back the other way, and once again, Roots Gaming able to outnumber them down low, get the pass across the goal. Not a whole lot RPH can do about that. Needs to be a lot more defending from Team Leisure, who seemingly want to get out of their zone ASAP, but not make sure that they get the puck first.
I mean, at this point, you're playing just to get a little bit of momentum heading into that second matchup. The Roots might not be done here. The damage could still be ongoing. Couple of opportunities on the passes. Some broken plays, and Team Leisure will survive that offensive chance. Big stretch pass just out of the reach of Psycho Skills. This one will go down for icing as well. So it started off so promising for Team Leisure, but it's just not going to happen on this one. For Roots Gaming, of course, a team that we've seen some interesting results from. Big save by RPH there again. Again, talked about with Team Leisure. Roots at this point, only 1 win in their last 4 games. Early December, they had a 6-game winning streak, but they have gone 1-3-1 since. But ultimately here, they're going to get back to their winning ways. And again, you talk about the points, someone who started today on the inside of the playoff structure, now on the outside looking in. They're going to pick up a crucial 2 points here. 2 more to play. Shot on, big save there by Swag. An underrated performance here as well from him, getting back to his solid numbers, solid performances. That chance just not going. Here's the big rush from Sele. Been everywhere in this game. Dishes it down low, and again back. Tremendous work between he and Migo Buna. Donski will again send it all the way around. Don't want to say Roots are toying with them, but obviously at this point, the game's in the bag. Barring one of the most ridiculous comebacks I think we would have ever seen. Sayson, of course, that we haven't seen incredible comebacks. Of course, we have a little bit early on in the week. Last Monday, we saw an incredible comeback, but don't think it's going to happen here. 2.5 minutes to go. Again, a lot to talk about, I'd say, heading into that second matchup. Shot on. Big stop by Swag. May have hit the side of the net. Team Leisure, again, just trying to get anything going. Shot deflected just wide. Pass in front again is recovered. We hit the final minute. They're just trying to get anything going, building blocks for the next game. Pass across, shot fired wide. Psycho Skills not able to hit the target there. Frankie steps up to maintain possession, not able to hold on to it. 47 to go. Team Leisure aggressive on the forecheck, and it's paying off, but they still just can't get these high-quality chances off. Frankie having trouble controlling, and another turnover there from Roots. But Sin, they're able to survive. A little bit of a barrel roll there from Swag, the big out. And nearly recovered by Sada Poika. This one will go down for icing. 27 seconds to go.
Yeah, and a really good job of maintaining pressure right there from Team Leisure, but it can be frustrating. They got a couple good chances. Neither of them went in, either went wide off the net or was saved. And that's just, when you're looking for a bit of confidence, that can be immensely frustrating, as well as another miscue from Giselle. ends up in a chance for Roots. He's had a couple of those in this game that I haven't wanted to point out yet since, he is so new, so getting into these things. And this is pretty early in the season for him. But at this point, it's starting to stand out in the game like this, that time missing a puck pickup and leading to a chance for Roots Gaming.
I mean, again, someone who is in just his third game of the season. And Sin, the numbers weren't really great heading into this one. One final chance for Roots, who pulled the goaltender late. The ultimate sign of confidence. It started off well for Team Leisure. With the opening goal in the first period, they give up 5 in a row. And it's a big W there for Roots Gaming. Sin, we have so much to talk about here. First and foremost, I do want to mention for Team Leisure to finish that point. Again, Giselle, that was just his third game of the season. Entering play today, obviously, the takeaway giveaway ratio is never going to be great in this game just because of what factors as a giveaway, really. But 3 takeaways to 23 giveaways for Giselle entering play today. It's just not really the numbers that you want to see, and again, not exactly the performance I think that he was looking for. But you're talking about someone who is a capable player. He's a Season 1 original. He's certainly a capable player, but it just didn't really come together for him, and not to pile on him either. It didn't really come together for Team Leisure for the most part.
Yeah.
In that.
Absolutely. It's never just on one player. I mean, the Giselle and Frankie at times were sort of left out to dry by the 3 up front. At times they see a loose puck. The problem is all 3 of them want to skate up the ice. And if, Roots recover that puck, they automatically are outnumbering Giselle and Frankie down low. They have to choose a man. And in 2 cases, it led to goals for Roots there. So yeah, absolutely. You can't just pile on one player or multiple ones, but we mentioned it in the pregame. The defense for Team Leisure does have to help generate some offense. It seemed like they struggled a bit in that way as well. Some opportunities where they looked to be able to keep the puck in but couldn't hold the line, or when one of them was helping to lead the rush, it led to a missed opportunity like that potential 3-on-2 that was kind of didn't work out. And credit to Roots Gaming, their defense has been good. Their offensive pressure was out of this world. They were giving Team Leisure fits, and Team Leisure, they're gonna need a big 5-man commitment in every single zone of the ice. And I don't think we saw enough of that. It kind of seemed like they were a bit off. They had good looks. Cycle skills looked great. They had individuals who looked great, but I didn't see the team look great. And that's what you need here in EASHL. You need everyone to be working in sync.
Absolutely. So again, a lot to talk about here to set the stage for the second game and the final game of this broadcast. We'll be back in just a moment, though, after a word from our lovely sponsor. It is
Wilhelmin ykköskentän pakkeina uudet tulokkaat. Sour Cream Snacks ja Flaming Hot Snacks. Kotikatsomoissa mukana Wilhelm Snacksit.
Wilhelm, for those who might have missed it. Then, again, a very unfortunate game for Team Leisure. A lot we could talk about there for Roots as well. Like we said, crucial points picked up there for them. We'll try to get you guys a look at the updated standings as well following that game, because, of course, with the other games going on as well, it is a constantly evolving situation there. This was the setup heading into the games. Of course, Roots dropped down into 10th. And again, we'll try to get you an updated look here. Roots now on 17 games played. But again, now moving up to 20 points. They're right there in contention with Northern Ascendancy, with Gotham Knights. You see how important it is for Roots to get these extra 2 points. And for Team Leisure now, still on 14 points. You're 6 points back of Roots. It's tough to say when that exact distinction is, while it's ongoing. Obviously, it's easy in hindsight to say, well, this was the turning point where it was beyond the point of return and we just clearly weren't going to be able to make up ground at that point. Have we reached that point for Team Leisure after that loss?
We're getting close, because they did come in today already on 18 games played, which was more. It was the most of any team. That was their 19th. They're about to play their 20th. They're still there at 14 points. So you look at the teams around them; they all have games in hand for the most part. That's not the position that you want to be in if you're Team Leisure and Roots. They did a great job of putting themselves in a better position. 20th, that gets them into the playoff hunt. They get another 2 big points here. They're going to leapfrog a few other people just because of how volatile the middle of the standings are.
And again, you would have seen it there updated just before we switched over to the lineup screen. Roots right now, as it stands, on tiebreaker in a playoff spot. Again, the race for those really sitting outside the top 2 spots. Everything is still up for grabs. Unless something drastic were to happen, you pretty much know that HAVU and Philadelphia are locks to make it. Of course, last year there was the shock of Yippee Voskala taking the number 1 seed. I hate to do this, boys, one more time because we talked about it a lot, but they lost in the first round to Färjestad. But regardless of that, we pretty much knew that HAVU and Philadelphia were locks to make it, and everything else was completely up for grabs, especially with essentially what we called silly season. So many changes, so many new players, new faces on new teams. And of course, it's really still tough to tell at this point how it's going to go. It's incredibly exciting. It's going to be incredibly frustrating for some teams, though, because obviously you kind of want to be able to breathe that sigh of relief at some point, but there is no relief for these teams up until the final game or so of the season, or until the season's over. We saw it last year. It can come down to the wire. So very important 2 points for both of these teams at stake here. If you're going to lose, you're going to want to lose in overtime at the very least. Sin, for Roots, not much you have to change. Maybe just a little bit of a better start, but it looks like they have that momentum going. For Team Leisure, what's it going to take to make sure that you don't walk away from this situation without any reward whatsoever in what would really be a devastating turn of events for their playoff chances?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, just take a quick, they need to just hit the reset button, because after that first goal, it just fell apart and it kept falling apart. They're going to need everyone to kind of be very mindful of not only where they are on the ice, where the puck is, where their other players are, and really understand that to get the puck out, to get on your rush like you want to, it starts in that D zone, and they're really going to have to do that. I believe Playmaker, correct me if I'm wrong, but he actually used to play wing, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure.
I can look it up really quick.
I could be getting him mixed up with someone else completely, but that would sometimes explain.
You're thinking of Profane Kiss, I think.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I actually absolutely am thinking of Profane Kiss. Excuse me for that, but yeah. So it just seems, with some of the minor lineup changes, Team Leisure trying to find that spark, but also with that comes, sometimes a struggle with the chemistry, which I think we saw a bit of here. So they just got to relax a little bit here and get back to what they're strong at.
We'll see how this one goes. It is Team Leisure in the black, Roots Gaming in the white and green. Our final game of this particular broadcast. Of course, we do thank you very much for joining us here. Of course, Wilhelm helping make this possible. And again, NHLGamer.com for all the information that you need. A big chance there for Miko Buna. RPH, though, standing tall, not letting past him. See what happens here for Team Leisure. Just one goal in the last game. Started off the scoring, and it was all downhill from there. And Sin, I think clearly an attempt there to see if they could drag Roots out of the 5-man collapse. That's going to be another key here, because they really struggled with that once Roots were able to turtle up. Chance here. Shot scores! Sadapoika starts off the scoring here for Roots. His 3rd goal of the night. And the worst case scenario for Team Leisure.
Yep, and that's Roots going back to what worked in that first game. Pucks in deep, win the foot race. They do just that, and a quick quick one pass right there. Not a whole lot RPH can do right there. He has to come out the challenge with the forward cutting across the middle with that much speed. You have to respect both the far side and the short side. He gets caught moving just a little bit to his right, and it's a picked corner right there. 1-0 for Roots, and you said it, not the start that Team Leisure needed or wanted.
We'll see how they respond in kind. They had no responses in the prior game. They're in desperate need of one now. In on the attack here. Puck recovered by Seeley. Fakes the quick out. Seeley had a phenomenal game in that first one. A goal as well. See what happens here. The Leisure, a pass off the skates of Krinka, recovered again by Roots. There's the quick out. Sadapoika has it. Forced to slow it down a little bit. Some creative passing here, though, from Roots. Back over, and a shot blocked. Crucial block there by Giselle. It looked like RBH was really out of position and really, left out to try, but not much a defense can do with on-point passing like that from Roots, a team that's arguably better than what we've seen from their record so far this season. But here's Leisure back in on the attack. No looking shot, doesn't go. Second chance, can't sweep it home. But again, you can start to see them getting some opportunities. Big step up from Seeley, back over, he scores! Migo Buna gets his third goal of the day. The Wingers scoring goals for fun for Roots Gaming. Quick little north-south counterattack, and Roots double up their lead.
It just seems like every time Roots get the puck in the zone, a dangerous chance will follow right there. I kind of like the idea from Frankie right there, trying to put pressure onto the puck carrier because of an in-tight pass like that. There wasn't much chance that he would intercept it. It unfortunately didn't work out as the puck got right over to Migo Buna as he timed the pass nearly perfectly with the defenseman jump. And just 2 goals for Roots, and it's getting bad for Team Leisure here early on.
Now 7 unanswered goals for Roots Gaming dating back to the prior game. Big turnover here, though. Psycho Skills will see what he can do, and the answer is not much. Way too much traffic. There's the quick out again. Migo Buna has people with him. Pass a little bit off the mark here. Krinka might be able to get something going on the counterattack, but the layers in defense. Fantastic from Roots so far, Sin. This has been one of, if not their most impressive performance this season.
Yeah, you and Team Leisure really have to almost make perfect plays at times to get it into the zone right there. Playmaker might have had a pass over to Psycho Skills cutting in with speed, which actually led to the offsides, but it wasn't much of a lane because of Roots. You mentioned it. They're layers of defense.
Opportunity here, though, for Leisure, getting some offensive zone time. Pass across, kicked back out. Migo Buna has it now for Roots. Great passing, a little bit missed time there, though. Under 7 minutes to play here. Roots with the 2-0 lead at this stage. See how this one goes off the draw. Roots able to get possession. Can they gain the offensive zone? The answer is no, at least not cleanly. Leisure back in control now, but big question is for them, not where you want to be, Sin. We're not even through the first period, and we're already talking about what can they do, what adjustments can they make. Migo Buna with the moves, chance back across, doesn't go. The highlight reel attempt, that would have been, and Sin, I think we've seen it now, dating back to the third period of the last game. Roots playing with a lot of confidence as a squad, but here's Krinka with a little bit of a step. Back to the point, and again, just nowhere to go. Roots right now, this is just a fantastic performance from them.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, gaining the zone with ease. Dump there, maybe a bit ill-advised. Probably thought Satapoika was on his horse a bit more than that.
Pass across, and it's denied. A penalty on the play. The Team Leisure will go to the power play against him. We talked about it. Some big-time struggles. It's going to be Tonsky going to the box, the right defenseman for Roots. This is your chance. Get your power play going and get on the board here. But you do lose that following faceoff.
Yeah, and that was actually a very good penalty to take, too, as that was an in-tight chance. Had a chance for a tap-in on the back door.
Opportunity now, puck down low, poked away, will be recovered by Psycho Skills. Head back up to the point. Frankie deflection bid, doesn't make its way through the traffic. Poked away by the Wingers. Opportunity on the short side. Krinka just can't get it to go. Goes back to the point. D-to-D work here. Team Leisure trying to find their way through. Can they get the shooting lane? Dish down into the corner. Recovered again by Giselle. Throws one on. Loose puck. Poked back to the point. Great pressure here from Team Leisure. Just not able to get the high-quality chances, though. 18 seconds to go on the man advantage. It's a fast final minute. Back to the point. Frankie, the shot, and he picks the wrong corner. Glove side high, wide open. He's going to want that one back.
Yep, it started off looking pretty rough for Leisure, but they got it together, starting to get some chances right there, but Roots able to hold on.
They win the draw here, final 10. Playmaker, not what he wanted there. The weak back end on net, 3.8 on the clock. This one goes down for icing. A late goal here could certainly turn things around, but if you're a betting man, I think you'd be betting on Roots here to be able to handle this one and take that 2-0 lead into the next period. They do indeed win the draw. Hope Copeland, great job. Sin, it has been a real rough go for Team Leisure here.
Yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot to write home about besides that first goal with Psycho Skills and the beautiful L skating work. After that, it just seemed like a switch was flipped and Roots Gaming just came out and, you know, just are sending a message to the rest of the ECL Elite that they are a playoff team, and they're going to prove it here. On their way right now to pick up those 2 extra points and get the 4 on the day, but they still got work to do. Team Leisure not out of it by any means. However, you're going by the eye test alone, I can't really say that there's been too much that they've done so far that's looked super promising to be able to break into Roots' defensive scheme.
So we'll see how it goes. Couldn't get a real good look there at the stats, but again, we will get a look at the goals scored. Again, once more, the 2 wingers, Sadapoika and Migo Buna for Roots Gaming. Delivering the goods here in this one. Of course, Migo Buna leading the way in terms of goal scoring for this Roots Gaming lineup. And so we've talked about it as well. One of our keys to success was sharing the wealth. You know, it is a full team effort from this Roots Gaming lineup, and I think we have seen that consistently here in this matchup so far today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're working as one. All their adjustments defensively, neutral zone, offensively, they seem to be, you know, by the rare exception, really on point, and it's throwing Leisure for a loop right there, who seem to be kind of just the opposite at times, not really in sync.
See how this one goes. We will leave any and all Leisure puns to Kenny in the chat. Let's see how this one goes now. Moving forward, Krinka in on the attack, an offside call against Team Leisure. And then, I mean, it really is, I'm going to say it, it's frustrating from a commentator's perspective. Yeah. You know, Team Leisure, 6 wins this season. We know that they are a capable team. Excuse me if I'm wrong, but they made the playoffs last year. So, I don't know. It's incredibly frustrating. Maybe it just goes to show that it's been that good of a performance from Roots today. But I just do feel as though this team is better than what they are showing. And indeed, I can confirm they made the playoffs last year, and it's just not looking like the same team. I mean, there are the lineup changes, again, without Profane Kiss in the lineup, one of their better players. It really hasn't gelled like we hoped it would have. I mean, there was those signs of promise in the first period, you know, Psycho Skills on that right-hand side, moving up the forward, but it just hasn't come together here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when you
through the half wall, not to interrupt you there, but that'll be another face-off.
And unfortunately, it's a loss when you take a defenseman as good and as productive as Psycho Skills and put him on forward. In many ways, it's great, but then on the flip side, you also lose that scoring presence back in the point, which we talk about all the time, is so important in the ECL. And you see teams like Habu, Philadelphia, have not only 1 but 2 guys who bring that to the table. And so far from Team Leisure, I'm not really seeing that out of either of their defensemen right now.
A couple of good looks there. Had a good look at a one-timer that was intercepted. You can tell the vision is there, but they just haven't been able to put these plays together. Great forechecking effort there by Roots. Fopa Toflin able to win that one back. Tonsky's pass trying to go back to him a little bit off the mark. Let's see what Team Leisure can do down the other way, and the answer, it's not much. Sile and Tonsky have been absolutely tremendous on defense for Roots here today. This one's been dumped in. Team Leisure trying to get that forward-checking pressure going. Why not? I mean, you almost have to view this as a do-or-die situation. You know, at this point, it's whatever you were trying to do isn't necessarily working. You might as well be that extra bit aggressive as long as you don't get into penalty trouble.
Yeah, and Sile and Tonsky, as you mentioned, have been lights out with their pokes on the blue line, so I like what Team Leisure decides to do. It's like, okay, they're doing a great job holding that blue line, getting the necessary pokes. The forwards are collapsing on the back end to force us into those positions, so they start dumping it, and they're taking the luck on the bounces right now, and it worked for them right now. They didn't get a great scoring chance out of it, but they did get a bit of possession.
See what they can do here on this attempt. If they can get it out of their own zone, Psycho Skills forced to drop it back halfway through the second period here, the second game of 2 between these 2 teams. And a great poke check there again by Stile for Roots, and here they come back down the other way. This time, though, an errant self-sauce there from Migo Buna. Not really what he was looking for there.
Yeah, and once again, Sile at the blue line, or not quite at the blue line, that time in the defensive zone. Another great poke coming out. I mean, timing is everything, and he has incredible timing on his pokes right now. And again, you see Roots, they're able to recover this puck. I'm curious to see what they do on this break-in as we're seeing Team Leisure able to line up the blue.
Roots back in on the attack. Gigantic save from RPH, denying them with the blocker. Remember that one if Leisure are able to work their way back into this game.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big save at a time when he hasn't been facing too many chances. Big one right there.
See again what Leisure can do. Can they turn this into a little bit of offensive momentum? But right now the pass is just off the mark, and you see how well entrenched Roots happen to be, patrolling their own blue line. A little bit of space here. Dish down into the corner. Puts the dish back to the point. And again, good playmaking there. And a shot denied by Swag. The one-timer from Frankie from the point, but great passing on display. That one from Seeley a little bit off the mark. For Roots, though, don't really have to care. It just winds down the clock. Yeah. We're still up by 2.
And they haven't been getting too many offensive chances of late. Turnover right there, but they are still looking. And wait a sec.
Here's Cranke. Oh, my God. What a play that almost paid off. That would have been a goal of the year candidate. Just couldn't find the finish on it. But perhaps a little bit of promise here for Team Leisure. The opportunity there taken away by Sadapoika. And Sin, you know what I said? We'd leave the puns to the chat, but maybe Roots taking their foot off the gas just a little bit, getting a little bit too leisurely on defense, opening up space for Team Leisure offensively. But they're mistimed at the line. 1:06 to go here in the second.
Yeah, I think they're trying a few different things on the looks, but I like what they're doing. Once they do gain the zone, they're seeming to really try to catch Team Leisure over pursuing. They do a lot of those backwards passes. However, it can lead to turnovers the other way.
Franke over to Psycho Skills, just doesn't find its way to the back of the net. But Team Leisure starting to get a little bit more offensive momentum going here. The game's still within reach. Sadapoika tries to find Migo Buna. He gets it back down low, but time will expire. Brings us to the end of the second period. A scoreless second period, so improvements there for Leisure in that regard. But again, still yet to find the back of the net. But we are seeing them really pick up their offensive game a little bit. And there again, that gigantic blocker save by RPH.
Yeah, he has been sharp a lot of the time, despite the amount of goals scored on him. I mean, it has been a lot of breakdowns defensively, but when he needs to be, he's really on point. And you know, that save especially, that's a big save, as you mentioned. Remember that one. If they're able to work their way back into it, he's keeping them in this game right now, doing the best he can. Now, that being said, Roots at times maybe looking a bit lackluster, almost seeming to be focusing a bit more on defense. It is only 2 goals, and Leisure does have the offensive tools necessary. They just haven't been able to capitalize quite yet.
We'll see how this plays out. Leisure needing those 2 goals. Roots 7 unanswered dating back to the last game. Offside here on that first rush of the period. Roots looking for their 10th win of the season. They're able to pick this one up. We know they're a bit of a streaky team. Looking to really kickstart their attempt here in the second half of the season, and looking good right now. They're walking away with all 4 points, but Team Leisure, you still have time. Zell with possession, throws one on, can't get it through the traffic. Come Roots down the other way. Drop passes to open up space. Migo Buna just loses it through the traffic. Comes Leisure back down the other way. Playmaker SJ with a little bit of a snap. Not able to find the pass. Held in. Giselle over to Crank. A shot off. Blocker stop by Swag. And there you see Frankie thought better of it. Not stepping in. That'll lead, though, to a Roots counterattack. Good defense there by Giselle to really slow things down. Pass back. Sadapoika nearly picked the corner. Had a great game in terms of, really a great night in terms of the goal-scoring touch. Loose puck here. Krenka just can't get the shot off. Loose puck taken away. Spopa Tolfin coming back. Here's Seeley on the step. Drops back into the slot. Nobody home here. Sadapoika again for Migo Buna. Throws one off the back. And an unfortunate turn of events there. Nearly RPH. Goaltender caught scrambling. Pass in front. Seeley is there to shut things down. There's the quick out again from Roots, but Frankie able to survive that one. Took a little bit of an odd bounce. Migo Buna wasn't quite looking for. And here we go. Bit of a chance here. They have the numbers. Passed off the mark for Roots. And just seems like right now it's just a matter of the clock ticking down. Roots trying to see this one out.
Yeah, and it looks like they're trying a lot of different looks, almost experimenting a bit. And it's not quite working out for them, and honestly almost costing them.
Ooh, Patrick Albert on the rebound, he scores! Roots Gaming find the third goal, and likely to be the dagger, it's Migo Buna yet again. And that is exactly what Roots needed to put this game to bed.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, right in the zone, a loose puck kind of bounced all around. Bit of a fortunate play for them, but again, we've seen that a lot out of them. Once they gain that zone, very good at making those quick passes to open up a little bit of space, get RPH moving laterally. It happens right there. Bouncing puck finds its way to a stick, goes in, and you said it, probably the end right there.
Final 9 minutes of play. Swag risking it there. Maybe not what you want to do. You know what? Because of that, I'll throw out the shutout word. Doesn't have one this season. Maybe not what you want to risk unless you don't care about that particular number, which ultimately he might not. This one played down and around. Roots in on the attack. Final 8 minutes of play. Deflection there. Ultimately recovered. Roots, though, still in on the attack, keeping possession, although this one will go back to the neutral zone. And now 8 unanswered goals for Roots Gaming. An incredible turnaround after a slow start to the first period of Game 1. Here come Roots back in on the attack. They send it down and around. Migo Buna back down in front. Popa Toflin tried to find Sadapoika, just wasn't there. We approach the final 5 minutes of play. Again, we thank you all for joining us here. Presentation of the ECL Elite Division. Of course, we will be back tomorrow, a broadcast in Finnish. We'll have more details for you on that one. And Sin, correct me if I'm wrong, but we will be back on Monday of next week for more action as we continue to cover the best of the best here in the Elite Division. Somehow that one doesn't go. Big step here for Seeley. The rush for Roots, pass over is not what he was looking for. 2.5 minutes remaining here. Playmaker SJ can't draw the call. And Sin again just, we'll have a lot to talk about here in the post game, I think, despite this game being pretty straightforward. But ultimately the story here, fantastic performance for Roots and a really heartbreaking effort here. Playmaker SJ, or not Playmaker SJ, excuse me, Psycho Skills denied there by the blocker of Swag. There's SJ and Psycho Skills fighting for that puck. SJ comes up with it one more time, dishes it back to the point, playing for a little bit of pride at this stage as there will be an icing call here and a face-off in the offensive zone here for Team Leisure.
Yep, and just another time where Team Leisure gained the zone. They're looking for their chances, but they're simply not looking very dangerous. And Roots, again, stop them short of getting any sort of high-quality chance.
Opportunity dish back to the point. No looking. Goes back across. Final 30-second shot deflects wide. Thrown back in front. Krinkett just couldn't tuck that one home. And the quick out here held on. Covered by Sadapoika. Good defense there by Giselle. Final 16 seconds of play. The offside threat. We'll hold it and look to reset. Turn. Here comes Migo Buna. Self-sauce to generate a little bit of speed. Back for Seeley. And loose puck kicked away. And then that'll do it. Roots Gaming, the 3-0 shutout victory. Swag picking up that first shutout of the season. Hardly his first career shutout, but a good return to form here for the Roots goaltender. And all in all, fantastic day for the Roots Gaming lineup.
Yep, and that is the 9th time that Team Leisure has been shut out. It is a trend at this point, and it's not a very good one there. We know what this team's capable of, and man, we just simply didn't see it for any prolonged stretch of time. And that at the end there, they started, getting some good pressure, getting some good chances, but you're already down by 3, the clock's ticking, and even then, I still saw some of the same mistakes being made in the offensive zone. It's kind of mind-boggling at times. The team that we know is so good and so capable to have a couple games like this where they just seem to not have it. And I don't know what other way to put it. Roots is a good team. Not to take anything away from them. They played great in all 3 zones when they needed to. But even at times, it seemed like they were understanding Leisure wasn't quite on their game, and they were doing some experimental plays, we'll say. And it's just it's tough to see. It's tough to see it for a team like Leisure, and they're going to have to find some kind of way to bounce back because their playoff dreams are evaporating before their very eyes.
Absolutely. I mean, again, it's not the biggest, it's not the biggest thing to take away from this. Would be, the Roots' performance here, just because for Team Leisure, as you mentioned, 9th time they've been shut out. You can't help but have that be the talking point. But if you are the Roots lineup at this stage, I mean, yeah, the hope is now that this can really propel you towards that playoff push, securing that playoff spot, and improving that you can pull off a performance like this against anybody along the table, along the division here at this stage, and not just beat up on another team that was on the outside looking in, entering play today, and still, of course, find themselves on the outside looking in. But a fantastic performance across the board for Roots. I think it'd be unfair to call out any one person in particular. That was a full team effort from them. Which, again, we talked about it. I mentioned it a little bit early on in one of the games, but one of the talking points heading into it was share the wealth. They certainly did. So, bravo to Roots. Fantastic performance for them. For Team Leisure, we talked about it as well. What's it going to be at this point? This is the make or break point of your season. Again, you talked about it in terms of being one of the teams that have played the most games. You're going to need a lot of help at this point to make it into the playoffs. You're going to need the vast majority of results, if not all of your results, need to go your way down the back stretch. And if anything, you might need a little bit of help. So this was a very, very disappointing day if you are a member of Team Leisure at this stage.
Absolutely. I mean, it couldn't get too much worse. Both the performance on the ice and the lack of getting any sort of points to help your season on. And you've already played now at this point 20 games, which is, I believe, the most of any team, or at least tied for the most. So not exactly looking great, looking pretty grim actually for Team Leisure. But yeah, you mentioned it. You did say perhaps no MVP from Roots Gaming, but maybe the defensive bias coming out in me, I got to give it to Sile and Tonski. They were fantastic. They stopped almost everything from Team Leisure. They started so many rushes, and of course, which the three up front get to take credit for at the end when they score the goals. But yeah, I mean, Sile and Tonski, unreal job at the blue line and in their own end to stop Team Leisure from really getting anything going.
So again, a great day for Roots. Sid, I had to check. I just want to mention this for Team Leisure. This game will not be covered here on tomorrow's broadcast, but tomorrow they have a quick 2-game set against Northern Ascendancy, a playoff team. Then they play H-Reds, a playoff team. Then they play Philadelphia. And then they play YMCA and Yippee Voskala. Team
Not
Leisure.
An easy schedule.
Yes, not at all. Team Leisure, I'm just going to say this. You might not make the playoffs this season, but building blocks here, right? Get that chemistry down. At the end of the day, you got to look at the positives on that sort of thing. Again, it just goes to show the level, as we'll get you a look at the standings here. It just goes to show you the level of competition in this division where, again, a playoff team last year in Team Leisure, all of a sudden life comes at you fast. You think, oh yeah, we'll make the playoffs again this year. And then you see the difference in competition level at this stage. And again, you see there Philadelphia right now atop the standings. Havu, though, with 4 games at hand for the defending champions. Big day for Färjestad. They move up into 3rd, but are just 4 points above Northern Ascendancy, who have those 2 games at hand. So they could easily find themselves on the outside looking in sooner rather than later. But Vesapampa still in the top 4. H-Reds and Yippee Voskala starting to solidify themselves and looking like they're going to be playoff teams again this year. We are seeing that little bit of extra separation at this stage. If you are Team Leisure in 13th all the way down to Dark Horse, you really got to fear for your playoff hopes at this point. Pressure's on the likes of YMCA, SJ Gaming, and KOVA Esports to make up that ground.
Yeah, and you know what? Something that I notice about all the teams in the top ones that we talk about, when we cover them, they're all very good at making adjustments. Vesapampa, throughout the course of their time in the ECL, they've always been making adjustments to improve. We've covered Färjestad a bunch. We said, Färjestad, they have great defense. Maybe they need to score a few more goals. Well, they start scoring a few more goals. Now look at them in 3rd place. That's what separates the great teams from the good teams here in the ECL, because I truly believe there are no bad teams here. It's all very competitive. competitive. And at the end of the day, it comes down to, your matchups, your schedule, everything like that. But most of all, the ability to make adjustments on the fly and after games like this.
Absolutely. So that will do it for us here. We thank you very much for joining us on this particular broadcast. Again, a friendly reminder, there will be a broadcast right here, twitch.tv/NHL Gamer tomorrow in Finnish. And those fixtures for you there. It'll be SJ Gaming and Havu Gaming. On the flip side after that, Gotham Knights and Philadelphia. So the top two, the big two of the Elite Division, Havu Gaming and Philadelphia, will be live in action tomorrow. Again, a 19:45 CET start time. Again, for those of you here on the North American side of things with us, it's about a 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard start time. So, again, a tremendous night of action for us here. Sin, again, it was our first week back in the booth following the holiday break. I am so excited to be back and to see how this plays out. The game's coming at us fast. We got a sprint to the finish here in terms of seeing how this all plays out. But, again, a very fun week for us here with our broadcasting duties on Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. And great games to cover from some of those teams, as we mentioned, fighting to get into those playoff spots. And we saw the best of both worlds in the ECL. We saw how fickle the league can be. Sometimes you're there, sometimes you are. Sometimes you improve over the course of seasons, sometimes you regress. It's just the bitter truth of what can happen in just a 16-team division.
So with that, again, we are done here for now. Again, we implore you to drop a follow here on the NHL Gamer channel if you haven't already. NHLgamer.com for all the information that you need for not just, of course, the Elite Division, but the other 3 tiers as well. So much going on within the ECL banner again. And we want to thank our partner in Wilhelm for helping make this happen. And of course, as far as Sin and I go, if you want to follow Sin, of course, Sin for the Win Productions on Twitter. And of course, or Sin for the Win Prod on Twitter. Sin for the Win Productions on YouTube. You got to get that right.
The character limit, man. It's the character limit.
Of course, I am at Tugi24 everywhere. If you haven't seen enough of my face, which, let's be honest, you have, that'll do it for us. Again, a big thank you for joining us here. A big thank you to everybody behind the scenes that helps make this happen. We love all of you, and we will see all of you next time. Have a good one. Take it easy. And if you're in the U.S., stay safe, God damn it, because feel free to go catch up on what's going on in the real world. It's a fun time. And I will say one last time, Wilhelm.
Parasta purtavaa kauden kovimpiin koitoksiin. Sour Cream Snacks ja Flaming Hot Snacks. Kotikatsomoissa mukana. Wilhelm Snacksit.